Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Unquestionably Raw NBA podcast. And today, I'm joined by Dave DuFour, and we got Curtlow back again. And then my co-host, Pete Toll, he should be jumping in just a little bit. And we're going to talk NBA draft today. Last night was the 2017 NBA draft. And I'm going to go to you first, Dave. Obviously, Philadelphia, they make the trade. They get the number 1 pick. Number 3 goes to Boston. Markelle Fultz is the pick. Good decision by the Sixers. Is that the guy they needed to take?
I think he fits really well for them. I think it allows them to use Ben Simmons in a role that is not this lead ball handler that they were planning to use him as. They could kind of make him their Draymond Green. Markelle Fultz is pretty adept at running pick and roll. He's going to score from day one. He's actually got really great pace with the basketball. So, I love his game. I think it's pretty good. He's got some concerns, of course, like defensive concerns and things like that. But I think he'll come around. Brett Brown's a great coach. But what I really like is it allows Simmons to sort of utilize those special skills that he has, but without being the lead guy. So my hope is we actually get to see Simmons as a cutter, as a roll man in the pick and roll, being able to make that secondary pass and things like that, rather than just, pounding the leather up top, looking for things to happen, because the defense is going to lay off of him big time. He cannot shoot. Last year in Summer League, they had already started it. He looked like Rondo. And so Fultz is going to help cover that up. And it's more scoring. And then they could throw out a crazy big lineup with Fultz at 6'5", Covington at 6'8", Simmons at 6'10" or 7 feet, if he actually did grow. Saric at 6'9", and Embiid at like 7'2" or whatever he is. And they could probably stay on the court with most teams. So, I think Fultz is a good pick for them.
Absolutely. Curtlow, what are your thoughts on Markelle Fultz and his fit with the Sixers?
I think he's the best player in the draft right now when it comes to scoring. He reminds me of a Brandon Roy type. I don't know a lot of people know that, younger cats, but he's got that type of deception like Harden. He plays possum, you know what I'm saying? All of a sudden he'll just, he'll slow it down, and all of a sudden he'll just speed it up at an elite level. That's pretty amazing to do, because you don't know if that guy's if he's going to burst speed, because people can fall asleep just watching him. I think he's a perfect fit because he shot 40% from 3 in college, so that's another thing with Fultz, and they need shooters over there. Embiid is the real prize over there. If Embiid stays healthy, this team is going to be a 500. And look out for this. People don't give enough credit to Sam Hickey, but Sam Hickey died for all this. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
This whole thing is Sam Hickey built. It's a dynasty. If anybody wants to talk about it, you know what I'm saying? They just, all these guys that they drafting is there. It's not bad players. You know what I'm saying? And you got Embiid, you got Simmons. See, Simmons to me, and that's why I'm coming out of college, he lacks defensive IQ. You know what I'm saying? I've seen him numerous times where he'll jump at something when he should have just stayed down. You know what I'm saying? He can work on that, but it's not something you can really teach. You know what I'm saying? Where you can figure it out.
Absolutely.
If they throw it to the post and let him run the game, this is going to be pretty damn good next year, and they're going to be very fun to watch.
One thing I think is going to help too with Fultz. He's really good in the pick and roll. I think he's going to be good there. And like Dave said, imagine Fultz with the ball handler. Simmons sets the screen. Boom, he rolls. Fultz hits him now. Simmons now can throw those Draymond Green lobs up to Embiid or Okafor if Okafor's willing to jump for it and go for it. And I think Okafor's another guy who could, if he's willing to accept his role, he could be a really good guy off the bench for them. It'll be interesting. Plus now with these extra ball hands, you got Stauskas on the bench who can really shoot the ball. Showed a lot last year. I really like this Philadelphia team. And call me crazy, can they compete for a playoff spot if they're healthy next year? Dave.
In the East?
Yeah.
I think
so.
Let's see. Look, it's early for that. Okay, free agency is still like 2 weeks away, 13 days or something like that. I want to see what free agency looks like for everyone. I've been getting since the draft is done all day. Everyone wants to know, hey, who's gonna have the number 1 pick next year? And hey, did the Timberwolves just become the best team in the, or not the best team, but like the 8th best team in the league? I'm like, I don't know. Slow down.
The eighth best team in the league now?
Yeah. Slow down. Let's see what it looks like after free agency. Like, JJ Redick is available. JJ Redick would be great in Philadelphia. If JJ Redick were to go to Philadelphia, that's a playoff team.
Yes.
Kyle Lowry is available, and I actually think Kyle Lowry and Fultz can play next to each other, and then that gives you a lot of options. So let's everybody pump the brakes and just wait and see what happens in free agency, because it's impossible to tell what the landscape of the league is going to look like until that happens.
And the only reason I mentioned that is because, like, right before Embiid went down, I mean, the Sixers were, 4 or 5 games out? And I think the stat was, with Embiid on the floor, they're a playoff team. Like, when they broke down all the advanced stats and stuff, they played at a playoff level with Embiid on the floor. Now you add Simmons, you add Fultz. Like you said, maybe they get a J.J. Redick. Maybe Okafor accepts a 6-man role. You got Covington. You got Saric, who's confident now, a better Stauskas. So it's going to be really interesting. Curtlow, you think Philadelphia can make a run at the playoffs next year if they're healthy?
Yeah, because of defense. And we when Embiid was there, I think it was the last 2 or 3 weeks defensive rating, and that was shocking to me. You know what I'm saying? Embiid brings nothing but the people don't understand. If Embiid was healthy, he would be a top 10 player in this league, and he's the next Akeem Olajuwon.
Yes,
he's modeled his game to the Akeem Olajuwon. You know what I'm saying? And these guys don't come around often. You know what I'm saying? Maybe once in a decade. You know what I'm saying? Joel Embiid is special.
Mm-hmm. And just like Akeem, he has the ability. If he's healthy, and like Dream, he can hit the outside shot. He can put it on the floor. We saw Hakeem with those
Sixers.
Yes, better than Stauskas.
Better. Have y'all seen Embiid shoot? He even shoots with his feet off. I mean, with his shoes off. You know what I'm saying? He makes the 3-pointer look, like it's selfless. Like I've never seen a 7-footer with that kind of touch other than Sam Perkins. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That is amazing for a 7-footer to be able to shoot like that.
Absolutely. I totally agree. I was shocked. I did not think he would be able to shoot the 3 as well as he did this year. And it's really, like you said, it's effortless. It's really smooth. I think they could be a playoff team next year. I was high on Minnesota this past year, so, I'm going to calm down a little bit. I was dead wrong about them. Now with Jimmy, it'll be interesting. But, Curtlow, we're going to go to the number 2 pick, and probably we've all been waiting for this. Lonzo Ball's a Laker. What's he going to do for this team? Like, LeVar said, they're in the playoffs this year. Do you agree with LeVar Ball?
Don't make me laugh over here. You know what I'm saying? The Los Angeles Lakers, the losing after losing over there. You know what I'm saying? They'd be lucky to make 500, even with Paul George. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to be real with everybody in L.A. because they need a reality check over there. But Lonzo Ball, I want people to understand this. Lonzo Ball is probably the best passer I've seen since Magic Johnson. His passes are on point. I've never seen something like that. He reminds me of Jason Kidd. He's going to get everybody involved over there in the Lakers, but everybody's got to buy into that system. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think everybody's bought into that system that everybody keeps talking about. You know what I'm saying? Because I've seen a team lose I think we went on like a 10-game losing streak at one point last year. You know what I'm saying? They can blame D'Angelo Russell, but I'm here to tell the whole world D'Angelo Russell's a superstar in training.
Yes. It's funny you said Dave and I were talking about that. I'm not sold on D'Angelo Russell. I still have, but Dave thinks he's an all-star.
Oh, yes. I wouldn't even say all-star.
I think he's going to be
a superstar.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, man, and for him to get to the Nets, I think is huge for him because, the culture that they're building there, Sean Marks, Kenny Atkinson. Kenny Atkinson is a fantastic player development guy.
Absolutely.
He's going to get a chance to play. Like the ball's going to be in his hands quite a bit. I love him and Karis LeVert working together. Mm-hmm. I love that they drafted Jarrett Allen. I mean, I think it was a great pickup.
That's a steal in the draft.
He's an awesome pick and roll big rim runner. And I just think we're going to see some stuff out of D'Lo, and people are going to be like, where the fuck did that come from? Meanwhile, he's been good already.
Yeah, I think he's a good player.
Yeah,
and he shoots the ball really well
around him. Look, it is impossible. It is nearly impossible to be really good with no talent around you. Mm-hmm. Who's he played with? Kobe.
And you know what I think hurt him last year a little bit too You have a guy like Ingram who can handle the ball a little bit, takes D'Lo off the ball. Randall's going to handle a little bit. And, Jordan Clarkson's a chucker. So I think some of that takes D'Lo off the ball.
But see, this is the thing that I really like about D'Lo. I think D'Lo can play with the ball in his hands or off ball, which is a fantastic skill. Not only that, but he's a big guard. So if opposing point guards are guarding him, he's 6'5". I don't think they posted him up enough. He's got a really nifty little post game. Anyway, I'm a believer in D'Angelo Russell. I mean,
what do you think of what can Lonzo Ball do for this Lakers team? Is he the second coming of Jason Kidd?
No, that's a terrible comp. Honestly, if Lonzo Ball wasn't light skinned, people would not compare him to Jason Kidd.
Yes. What do you see him doing with it for this team?
Don't get me wrong. His playmaking ability, it's similar to Kidd, but I think he's his playmaking is very, very, very instinctual. I mean, it's like, I don't know. There's something there, right? I mean, not that Kidd's wasn't, but I think Lonzo might even be next level as far as being able to make plays and quick decisions. It's the rest of the stuff that I kind of, I'm on the fence about. I don't know if his shot will translate. We'll see. I don't know, his off the dribble stuff, I've got some concerns with. There's a few things like that. Defense, I think his defensive playmaking instincts are great, but right now the defensive ability doesn't match the instincts. And so there's some funkiness there. But, I mean, from everything I've heard, he's a hardworking guy, nice dude. That stuff matters a lot. And, you heard in the Magic Johnson press conference today, they wanted leadership, and that's who he's been, his whole basketball career, if you can even call it that. But
and think about it, like UCLA, a year ago, they were mediocre at best. He goes there, and they're a 30-win team, and that's Lonzo Ball. He gets the ball to he gets it to the shooters, the cutters at the right time, hits them in the right spot so they can make the shot. Now, as far as his shooting, I think his off the dribble shot, his pull-ups and stuff is going to have problems at the NBA level because it's so funky. And I think it's when he goes right, he's not very good. Yeah. And I think spotting up, I think he'll be fine because he did shoot from deep in college. So I think he'll be fine on spot ups.
And that's the reason why I think it was a mistake to get rid of D'Angelo Russell, because D'Angelo could have been out there and you could have had two guys that could be on ball or off ball, right? How much is that worth? Now, I like the Josh Hart pick. To me, the Josh Hart pick puts the Lakers over the top. I gave him an A for this draft because you get a second pick as highly touted as Lonzo. It's hard to not get an A. But they didn't screw it up. Taking Josh Hart, I thought was super smart. It was a very Spursy move on their part. And that guy can shoot. I think he's going to play from day one because he can get out there. He's got good size. For a two guard, and he can shoot. I mean, he will fill it up. So that's a great guy to have on the court next to a bunch of guys. So what do you do?
Does that mean who are we going? Does that mean Clarkson's the backup point then?
Yeah, Clarkson's going to come off the bench if he's still on the team.
Yeah, I think you got to move Clarkson because to me, he's a good player, but he's a chucker. I don't think if you got Hart, and
too much I don't know how that guy at $12 million. I mean, that's
absolutely.
That's like mediocre starter money, and he's a bench. He's a guy off the bench. I mean, now I do like some of the things he does. I think he could be like your sixth man or seventh man, and if you need a scoring punch. But he's not making plays for anybody else. He's not making anybody else better.
No. He's just out there. I noticed a lot of times last year he gets in the game. If he gets the rebound, it's going up. He's going to come down the other. He's going to jack up a pull-up three off the break, or he's going to go just drive to the basket. He does not look for his teammates that much. So I don't know. I don't know what role he's going to play for this team if he fits that Luke. What Luke wants, because Luke, he wants Randall to play the Draymond Green role. Wants to do a lot of the stuff the Warriors do. And a guy like Clarkson, I don't think he would fit that system just because he's a chucker.
Yeah, I agree.
I think you could maybe, someone will be stupid and take the contract. Maybe the Knicks. Maybe the Knicks will take him.
Well, my assumption was that he's going to wind up going to the Pacers.
Mm-hmm.
In the deal. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Was Curtlow just raising his hand?
Go ahead, Curtlow. Go ahead.
Yeah, I wanted to say, first of all, D'Angelo Russell, man, once they figured, I think I said this on your podcast, I think once they move him from point guard to shooting guard, his game is going to flourish. He is not a point guard in this league. He makes lazy passes, and the next level, those passes turn into turnovers. You can see it with James Harden and a couple other players that are lazy when it comes to passing. Westbrook is one of them too. But with D'Angelo Russell, I mean, what's going on with the Lakers? Why the hell would Magic Johnson trade a pick they just picked a year or two ago? You never trade a top 2 pick in the NBA. I don't care how bad that guy's playing. You put your faith in there. Magic Johnson is a damn dummy, and he's running this franchise that they just got built. Well, you know what I'm saying? I mean, they just built three superstars in training. You know what I'm saying? D'Angelo Russell, Ingram, and now Lonzo Ball. You know what I'm saying? And Randall, to me, it reminds me of Sean Kemp when he was back in the day. You know what I'm saying? When I seen him coming out of college, and I really love his post-up game, but he's never going to be able to show it in this league because nowadays they don't care about the post move. Post move is obsolete. But guess who's going to bring that back? Joel Embiid.
Who's that?
Yeah, Joel Embiid is a special guy, right? Like the thing about Joel is he's 7'2". He's a massive human being. Like he's not like
physical contact.
Right. He's not a skinny guy. He's got great feel and touch around the rim. He can shoot the 3, he can put it on the floor, he can pass, he plays great defense, right? Like, I mean, honestly, like if he's going to be healthy, he'll be the best player in the league because he can affect it. But he can affect the game in so many different ways, you know. His rim protection numbers are amazing. Yeah,
better than Karl Anthony Towns.
Yeah, come on now.
Yeah,
Karl Anthony Towns has to learn to play some defense.
Good point.
Yeah, he was horrible last year on defense. Let's be real.
He's bad. He's been bad
on defense.
2 years now. I mean, you know, rookie years, whatever. But last year, right, he was supposed to be like an MVP candidate to everybody. And no, man, his defense is terrible. And I'll tell you what. So real quick, you know, just because we're talking draft, I mean, to me, the biggest the winners of the draft were the Minnesota Timberwolves because they got Jimmy Butler, and that's huge. Because let me tell you something. He's not going to stand for Karl Anthony Towns being a bad defender. This is not going to happen on his
Same
watch.
thing with Wiggins, because Wiggins can defend if he wants to put a little effort in, but he's lazy on defense.
Yeah, lazy. Absolutely.
I wouldn't be shocked if they start dangling Wiggins because I think there's a little bit of overlap there. And Thibodeau is not going to play Wiggins or Butler at the 4 like he ought to, and then get a shooter to play, you know, like a shooter at the 2. He's
like JJ Redick.
Right, JJ Redick would be great. I don't think they can afford him now, but I haven't looked at the updated cap sheets, but that's for next week. Yeah, so I think they may dangle Wiggins. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens in free agency. You know, maybe Millsap goes there for a discount, and then you've got a hellacious, at least on paper, defensive lineup with Rubio and Wiggins and Butler and Millsap and Karl Anthony Towns. I mean, that's a playoff team.
Absolutely. I want to go to Boston now. They get the 3rd pick. They trade number 1 to Philly, so now they've got 3 the future first-round picks. Curtlow. Is Jason Tatum, is that the guy? You think this is the guy they wanted all along?
That's not the best player in this draft. Josh Jackson is the draft. I said Markelle Fultz, but I would have a hard time not taking Josh Jackson number 1. But Jason Tatum, he reminds me of a 2.0 Tobias Harris. He's a very smooth player. He'll make an immediate impact, and he can get a shot up. He can get a shot up on anybody anyhow. Tatum has the feel of a Milwaukee's Jabari Parker. Y'all seen him last year, right? He was pretty damn good. Even though he's got an average speed to his game, you know what I'm saying? He's not that quick. But that first 1 or 2 steps to get to the rim or move to the side is explosive. A lot of people didn't notice that, but I'm pretty sure Ainge did. But he can finish at the rim at an elite level because of his length and wingspan. But let me tell you something about Tatum. He's going to be the guy that you go to ISO in buckets late in games.
Mm-hmm. A lot of people said he's the best ISO player in the draft.
Oh, absolutely. He's developed that Dirk fadeaway shot with
the 1 foot.
Yeah, and that's amazing. And he's actually developed the Harden Euro step, or we can say the Manu Ginobili Euro step. but you know what I'm saying? He's developed these moves, and it's like, wow, man. I mean, he put a lot of hard work, and you could tell Danny Ainge never wanted Jason Tatum. I'm telling the whole world now. He wanted Josh Jackson, but he never showed up to his thing because they didn't show respect to him.
He canceled the workout while they were on the plane. To me,
they traded the number one pick or something like that. So
he must not have wanted to go to Boston, man.
No, I wonder. I guess because he felt he wouldn't play a lot there with the log jam. Because you got Smart who plays a little bit at the 3, but Jackson can play all four positions. But
plus play in this draft.
Plus you've got Jaylen Brown, so I guess he just didn't like the fit there. He just figured, who knows though. You just never know what's going through a kid's mind. Dave, how do you think Tatum fits with this Boston team? Is he going to be able to contribute year one?
You know what? My buddy Adam Stanko said last night on my podcast on the NBA with Coach Dave.
Yes. Nice plug.
Cheap plug. He said he thinks he might put up 15 a game his rookie year. I don't think he's going to get the minutes. Again, we don't know what is happening right now. Like, I don't know how this thing is going to shake out. They still might get Paul George. And if they get Paul George, Jason Tatum is going to Indiana. And who knows what he's going to do there. They're going to be a bad team. They're going to be tanking.
And they could sign Gordon Hayward.
Right, exactly. So the minutes just aren't there. And, I mean, I have Jaylen Brown. I'm really high on Jaylen Brown.
Yes.
Right? And I'd have Jaylen Brown ahead of Jason Tatum. Now, they may be able to play some together. Like, this is one of my favorite things about Jaylen Brown is that he can guard 1 through 4. And so you can play him at the 2, you can play him at the 3, you can play him as a small ball 4. So he's got that positional flexibility. I don't know if Tatum is athletic enough to do that much, right? Like, I don't know how he's going to look if he gets caught on a switch with a really quick point guard. So I just don't know. I didn't like the pick. I think Josh Jackson was the pick. I don't give a shit if he cancels a workout. Like, suck up your pride, do what's best. And if you believe in your organizational culture, even if he didn't necessarily want to be there, you could sell him on it.
It's the Boston Celtics.
Hard for me to believe he's going to be happier in Phoenix, which the team has been kind of dysfunctional. Like when they haven't won in a long time. So I get why guys didn't want to go to Boston because of the minutes thing, right? Like they're thinking about that next contract today, right? Like they're already thinking, well, 4 years from now, I want to go ahead and get that max. I want to be on my way to that.
I'm glad you mentioned that because they were talking about, I forgot where I saw it, but a lot of these guys that choose to come out of college after 1 year, their thinking is that second contract. And that's why they come out so early.
Exactly. Yeah, they're trying to set. Well, actually, no. They're thinking about the third contract, right? They're thinking, I want to get to my third contract when I'm in my going into my prime. You get what I'm saying? So they're hitting that third contract. They come in at 19. They're hitting that third contract 26, 27, and then that's when they're getting that big money contract. And then they might actually get one more big money contract for your superstars. So you might like Chris Paul, for instance, is probably going to get a max contract at 31. LeBron James, same thing, right? Like now LeBron did it a little differently with all these 1 year deals. But Chris Paul more conventionally, right? Like he's coming up, he's 31, he's coming up for a new deal, and this will probably be his last big deal. I mean, I can't imagine somebody's going to sign him for, $30 million at 36.
No. Pete, welcome back.
What's up, guys? What's up?
Yes. We're on the Boston Celtics right now, but I'm gonna backtrack real quick because you are a Sixers fan. So I got to get your thoughts on Markelle Fultz. Then we'll ask you about Tatum, but I want your thoughts on Markelle Fultz first.
Well, I love the Fultz pick because if you look at he excels in the pick and roll, and just imagine him, Simmons, and then you've got Embiid. I mean, that's a hell of a core. And then storage improves. Man, this team is making the playoffs next year.
Yes.
Guarantee it. I don't know how high they're going to get. I'm not going to. I'm not going to. No, I mean, hell, I'll even say it without free agency. I'm going to.
I'm with Pete. Playoffs. Yes. The thing is, it is the East.
Right, and the Hawks got worse. You got a couple other teams that kind of trended backwards. Chicago, so they could slide in there and get it. The Knicks aren't doing anything, so they're already worlds ahead of both Chicago and the Knicks.
Yeah, so, my New York Knicks, right?
Right.
Boy, was I wrong on them.
Then the other picks that they made, Bolden and Lesord and Pasninskis, they're not going to come over. right now. Wisniewski is basically the most intriguing one overseas, rim runner, and can excel there. For the future, he's a guy that might be able to do some things for Philly, but I wouldn't count on the other two really ever coming over doing anything.
And the one guy from last year is coming over, Korkmaz, or however you say his name.
He came over. He's already working out with the Sixers, but I don't know if they have a spot. Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
They don't have a roster spot for him, but he would be good. He'd be good.
Yeah, he would be
another shooter.
Right. Yeah, I thought I saw somewhere today he wants to come play this year.
He does, but he's just rail thin. He didn't. He got loaned out to Bonvit, and they won the Turkish Cup. But it's not Bonvit's not like an elite level like Anadolu Efes was. And the thing about it is with Korkmaz, you've already got Stauskas, you've got Bayless who's coming back from injury, you've got Lawawu.
You may have JJ Redick. You may have JJ Redick.
JJ Redick, who actually I think you should go after as a shooter coming in, but. We'll see. Just not a lot of spots for.
They'll have to throw a ton of money at JJ. Like that's the thing. But I worked it out where if you did a de-escalating contract and you started at some you could. I think that they've got the space. They could do like $28 million or something first year, and then just have it go down. And it would be tough. It would really be tough for him not to take that money. I think, but. I mean, at his age, he may not want to go to a situation where he doesn't have a shot at a title. So I think he might be either he's staying in with the Clippers and they're going to give him big money because it's just free money, right? Like bird rights and all that. Or he's going to look to go to like Houston or, you know what I mean? Like something like that. And don't think that Houston's not about to make some big deal and clear a bunch of cap space and go after, Gordon Hayward and trade for Paul George. I love this. Like, this is the best time, man. Like, I've been rooting for chaos this whole time. We got a little bit in the draft. This is great.
With Redick, I think the thing with him is he's 33 tomorrow. So what is he really going to give you defensively? Because he's going to decline each year. He's already, an average defender, so it's only going to get worse. Being able to come off screens, he's going to get slower as he ages. I think the best opportunity for him is to probably stay with the Clippers. But you're right, Dave. I like the chaos of let's see Houston move Anderson and Ariza and Curtlow. I know you're like, what the hell is wrong? What is wrong with you guys? But just kind of move some of those guys around and get some fresh guys in there to make a better run for Houston all the way around.
Absolutely. Now, Pete, I'm going back to you again. Jason Tatum, is he the guy in Boston? Is that the guy you would have taken there?
I like him over Josh Jackson. Tatum's going to have to play the 4 to excel. I think he pairs very good with Jaylen Brown, kind of on the wings there. I think that you're going to see because they're going to have to clear contracts to be able to get potentially Paul George on a rental, and the rumors are that he'd sign the 3-year deal. If they get Hayward, you'd have to shed Rozier, Demetrius Jackson, Tyler Zeller, and I think it was
Avery Bradley.
No, I don't think Bradley was in there. It was who am I missing? I think
Crowder.
Well, Crowder was one, but there was one more that they'd have to get rid of, to make the numbers work to be able to get both guys in there. And with Tatum, he's going to excel as a 4. He's going to have to improve on the long range shooting, but Drew Hanlon is one of the best as far as development guys, and he's been working with him and I can't pronounce his name. Semi Olajale, the second round.
Semi
Ojale. There you go.
Ojale. Okay. Let's go. You guys want some French lessons now?
There you go. But I think that Ojale could end up being what Jay Crowder is now. Potentially.
Ooh, now, all right. Listen, hang on. All right,
in time.
I know you guys saw. Did you guys see this thing today where like a bunch of people after the draft just started dumping on Jay Crowder? Jay Crowder is one of my guys. Okay,
Jay Crowder. They've been. I've seen a lot of Boston fans on Twitter. They've been dumping on him all year.
They're assholes, and let me tell you why. They don't understand basketball. First of all, Positional flexibility. Guy can guard 3s and 4s. Now, he's getting to a point where he probably needs to be more at the 4, and that's fine because he's still good there. Shoots over 40% on 3s. Probably got the best contract in the league. And guess what? Signed for 3 more years at that cheap-ass rate. Come on now. There is no more valuable dude in the league when you compare production to money. I mean, until you get to the max guys like LeBron. Like LeBron is worth $800 million, a year. But as far as like these role player guys, look, Patrick Beverley, another guy, seriously underpaid. Every other team would want him. Okay, Crowder. There's a bunch of guys like this. Anyway. But they're always like people shit on them for stuff that actually isn't even true. They look at one game instead of the full sample. I mean, Jay Crowder is the reason why the Celtics beat who they beat in the second round?
They beat yeah.
Exactly.
Washington.
The Wizards. Thank you. Gosh.
Yeah.
It feels like 8 years ago. And Jay Crowder's a good player, man, and a good dude, and like a guy you want in your locker room. And, I just think the Celtics are going to miss him when he's gone, but he's probably gone.
Right. Mm-hmm. And I'm high on Crowder as well. I didn't mean it to shit on him. I just think that that's somebody that's going to end up, if you have the chance to go Gordon Hayward, you're going to have to move Crowder and go that route. Now, I personally don't think that Hayward ends up in Boston. I think he stays in Utah, but that's just me.
Now let's go to the number 4 pick. I got to go to Curtlow first because he said he's the best all-around player in the draft. Josh Jackson did Phoenix get kind of a steal here at number 4, Curtlow?
To be honest with you, I've never seen a player like this that has speed, athleticism. The B-ball IQ is off the charts. You ain't never seen a player with that athleticism and that speed and be able to shoot 40% from the 3. Never. Never in that size. Never. And one thing about him, he can play point guard. He can play off the ball. And he can get his own shot up on his own. Can play elite defense and shoot and score with the best of them. Who the hell ain't picking this guy for their damn team for number 1?
The Philadelphia 76ers.
If you want to win, you pick Josh Jackson in this draft. Period.
I agree. I agree completely with that. I think that's about the best analysis / sales pitch. Are you sure? Are you not on his payroll?
So you think this is a hell of a pick by the Suns then?
Oh, I think it was a great pick for them. I think that Boston should have done it. I think, honestly, now I get, if you're Philadelphia, I get taking Fultz over Jackson, just because you already have so many young guys and you've got a log jam in that kind of 3-4 area. Mm-hmm. And Fultz he's a fit for them. Whereas Jackson is a good player, but it's one of those things where it's like he's got like high ceiling, high talent. I think Fultz is high talent, also good fit for them. So I don't blame them for not taking him number 1, but man, I feel like Boston could have done that. Could you imagine? Like Boston could run out some amazing lineups where you've got Jaylen Brown, Josh Jackson, and Crowder, where you get 3 guys that could just switch.
And you could put Marcus Smart at the 1 in that group and have a hell of a defensive unit. They could switch everything.
And with Horford, you could switch 1 through 5.
Mm-hmm. Like Golden State can do.
Exactly. Well, and again, that's a poor man's Golden State.
I would hate to see the offensive end on that one, except for Crowder, because who's going to be able to shoot the ball?
Hang on now. Don't you dare.
Hey, I gotta play devil's advocate there.
Jaylen Brown's going to shoot 38% this year from 3.
I agree.
Okay.
I actually agree with
34% last year.
Yeah.
He's going to be a really good shooter.
Yeah, he's got a great shot. I love his off-the-dribble game. I mean, the guy's got a killer instinct. I've been talking about Jaylen Brown more than anybody in the last few days, which is insane. Mostly because I said I wouldn't trade him straight up, or I probably wouldn't trade him for Porzingis straight up.
Oh, wow.
I said probably.
I like it. Hold on, Curtlow's right. Go ahead, Curtlow.
Going on a rant.
Go ahead, Curtlow.
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I just had it. I've watched him since he came out of college, and I watched every scouting tape on him. You know what I'm saying? He has the same exact talent as Dominique Wilkins. I've noticed it with him. It's now you're not going to see it now. Wait,
You heard here first, guys. Curtlow agrees.
1 or 2 years.
Jaylen Brown is going to be a Hall of Famer.
I don't know about that. We got to see his work ethic first. You know what I'm saying?
All right, hey guys, I gotta jump off, man, because I gotta go grab dinner with my wife.
Oh man, no worries, no
and
worries.
nurse this back injury.
Absolutely.
All right,
we'll get you back on again.
Yeah, no, this is fun. We should do this again.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
All right, y'all take it easy.
Yes, sir.
All right, you too, man.
Yeah, I with this Josh Jackson pick, I think Curtlow's gonna hate me for this. I'm not sold on Josh Jackson because I don't know how he's going to be. I think defensively he's going to be elite.
And
I think you're looking at all defense. I think you're looking at all defensive player of the year caliber player with Josh Jackson. Offensively, though, I'm not sold. He can put it on the floor. It's the shoot. I don't know.
He could be a point guard.
I don't know how.
He could be a point
shooting.
forward.
It's the shooting that scares me. I know he shot the pretty
De'Aaron
good
Fox should
three.
scare you on shooting.
He does too. We're getting to him next. We're gonna get to him next. But it's the shooting. Pete, Josh Jackson, man. What?
Jackson's gonna come in. He's gonna hide Devin Booker's defensive liabilities on the perimeter. I think Jackson ends up taking the starting small forward spot before the year's over. The thing about it with Jackson is a lot of times you see him pissed off and just not really having fun on the court. And I just wonder how that's going to translate into the locker room with the other NBA guys. And he's not very – he's a good ball handler, but he's not very creative as a ball handler. So I don't know how much – this all depends on, is Bledsoe going to be there? Are they going to move him? Because obviously he was in talks to go to Denver. That fell through at the 11th hour. So it's just a matter of – what are they going to look for out of Jackson? If Josh Jackson can get somebody like a Chip England to work with him on his shooting, like England did with Kawhi Leonard, then, you're talking about probably potentially being the best player to come out of this draft. But until he can prove through an entire season that he can shoot, 36, percent at least or better, I'm not sold on Jackson over Tatum, who I think
the one thing with the threes, he did like Curtlow said, he shot the 40%, which is good. But is it going to translate to the NBA 3-point line? I think that's what we got to see. Can he shoot the 23'9"?
And the whole bogus thing that Earl Watson came out today and said he can guard 1 through 5, I literally wanted to fall out of my seat because there's no way in hell he's going to be able to guard power forwards and centers at the NBA level. I think that's why Earl Watson's not going to be the head coach.
I think he can guard power forwards in small ball lineups. He thinks he can guard the centers.
Maybe. But
6'8". He's 6'8".
Look at Draymond's build, though. Like, Draymond is a lot bigger build than
that just kills everybody.
Mm-hmm. So. It's gonna be interesting. I think if I looked at every player in the draft, I'd probably say Josh Jackson probably has the highest ceiling. Is he gonna reach it? I think that's always the question. I'm not 100% sold. If he can translate that 3 to the NBA range line, then hey, we got a monster in Phoenix. That's going to be a scary Phoenix team with Booker and Chris and Jackson. And I think Dragan Bender is going to be a really good player eventually. He showed some signs last year. I like Dragan Bender. I think they got something going there in Phoenix. Let's get to the fifth. Go ahead, Pete. Go ahead.
I was going to say with Bender, you've got to look at Bender struggled last year, and he ended up injured. So really, this is like his rookie year all over again. So I wouldn't put high expectations on him this season. And you got to remember, they drafted Alec Peters in the second round, who is a lights-out shooter. Not going to give you anything else, but he can shoot the ball in the perimeter. So you've got Chris coming back as well.
Pete? You said he was the
he would replace Alex Len.
Okay.
Not that he's Alex Len. Hell no. Like Alex Len is not. He is a terrible NBA player. I don't think he developed at all.
In the draft and nobody else seen it.
Yeah, I mean that was terrible, and to consider that people were saying, well, Alex Lynn should have went to the Cavs over Anthony Bennett. Like, to me, they're the same two peas in a pod.
At least Alex Lynn has played longer, though.
Yeah,
so there's that.
Yeah, Bennett can't even make it overseas, at all. So say what you want with that, but I think with Peters, I think you're going to see him, get into the rotation over a guy like Bender, because I just think that Bender is a little bit raw. But I think by the time next season rolls around, I think you're going to see Bender in the rotation and excel, because they'll figure out that he's really thriving at the 5 spot instead of where they wanted him at, which was the small forward spot to begin with.
Now we're gonna get to my new favorite team, the Sacramento Kings, and we're gonna talk about all 4 picks here. I'm gonna just throw it all in here for time purposes. Obviously, you get De'Aaron Fox, number 5, outstanding pick, position of need. Also, you look at the best player available. You could also argue he was there too. Then you get Jackson from North Carolina, who a few months ago on the podcast, I told Pete those are the 2 guys they should take. But because you flip 10 for 15 and 20, you also get Harry Giles. Then you get Mason the third from Kansas in the 2nd round. Curtlow, go ahead, man. Sacramento Kings. Vlade Divac, outstanding job, right?
The Sacramento Kings won this draft. I ain't never seen this in 20 years. Shout out to everybody over there in Sacramento, because they just got 3 starters. You know what I'm saying? Justin Jackson might be. Is that his name, Justin or Josh?
Yeah.
I keep getting them mixed up.
Justin Jackson.
Justin Jackson might be. Let me make this straight. Might be the best player in this draft.
Whoa! You heard it from Curtlow. Bold prediction. Hey, that's what we do here, though.
I see it all season, and oh man, this guy has it. He has to.
Hey, and Curtlow. Hey, let's remind everybody he is a Houston guy.
Yo, who was that again? Oh yeah. That's right. He came out.
He is a Houston guy.
They play AAU.
Yep.
Oh, I just read it the other day. De'Aaron Fox and him play AAU basketball together. So you know what I'm saying? Houston, Texas. But it's 2 out of 3 players that come from Houston to Sacramento. I wanted to say this, man, and I want everybody to understand this, and this is my steal of the draft. Look out for Frank Mason 3, okay? Because this guy has what everybody wants. The determination to be great, the determination to be not a role player. This guy's work ethic and hard work, all his teammates rave about him. I've watched him throughout his whole season. I've watched him throughout the whole tournament. This guy, right, as a former Legion scout, when I was looking for players, this was one of the players I would look for. But that's his problem. That's why he was drafted in the 2nd round. Don't let that fool you, because Allen Iverson was short too.
Mm-hmm. And Mason can really shoot the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Pete, what do you think of what Sacramento? Yeah. Absolutely. Well, Pete, what do you think of this Sacramento draft?
I'm with Curtlow, potential steal of the 2nd round. I've got him and Juwan Evans as my 2 steals in the 2nd round.
Damian Johnson. You know what? He can really shoot the ball, and he's a Houston guy. Yates High School.
I can't go that far. But with Frank Mason, heady point guard, he's a winner. He doesn't turn the ball over. It's exactly what Sacramento needs. You've got De'Aaron Fox there as now the starter. He's going to lock in defensively. That shot is atrocious, so he's going to really have to work to get that better. But just his elite ball speed is what's going to help him excel early. That, and he just fights, and he's going to work. With Justin Jackson, he obviously improved his jump shooting, so that's really going to help. Right now, he's the only small forward they have on the roster.
So he probably starts next year.
I think they bring somebody in, and then he comes off the bench. But looking at Sacramento, you have to give credit. I don't give credit to Vlade Divac. I give credit to Scott Perry, their assistant GM, who was at formerly with Detroit. and I believe it was OKC at a time too. He had his fingerprints all over this because that's his MO of basically trying to take one pick and get it into multiple picks. He likes versatile players. You get Giles, who potentially you could look back, 5 years from now, and he's a top 5 pick if he's healthy. He's able to rebound well and can score at the rim. And that's something that Sacramento can use because having the backups in Kufis and Papagiannis, I mean, you don't really get – you've got one an aging veteran and the other one a raw center with Giles.
But Papagiannis showed some things last year. He showed some signs that he could be a decent NBA player.
Decent, but he's not going to be, a key rotation guy.
No.
I think Sacramento – they had the second best draft, in my opinion. The first, the best draft overall was Minnesota because they fleeced the hell out of Chicago. So
we're going to get there in just a minute.
Right. But that's what I got on Sacramento.
Outstanding. I totally agree. I love this Sacramento draft. I thought, we'll get to our winners and losers in a little bit. They definitely are going to be one of my winners. I like this Fox and Hield backcourt. Everybody knows I'm really high on Buddy Hield. I know not everybody is. I'm sticking with it. I love the Justin Jackson pick. I think he ultimately if they get off to a really slow start, look for him to be the starter going forward if they struggle at first. We'll have to see what kind of veterans they get because that's what they need. I don't think they need veterans to come in that are going to play a ton of minutes, but just guys that are going to come in and show these young guys how to be professionals. But wow. Just they didn't mess it up, and I think now you go back and you look at that Boogie Cousins trade, it's looking really good right now. Yeah, they did. They absolutely did. Curtlow, go ahead.
Now I wanted to say the Sacramento Kings is the work. Mike Malone is going to get this team to work hard, and if you get this young group to work hard, they're going to win a lot. They're going to win five. They're going to get to 500 in the West. DeMarcus Cousins was a cancer. I don't think anybody knows this, but I noticed it now.
He is.
And yeah, you know what I'm saying. And it was best to get rid of him. Shout out to Vlade. You know what I'm saying. He made that call to get rid of him, and it's worked out. And Pelicans ain't looking good at all. They got a whole bunch of misfit players over there. I don't know what the hell's going on.
Yeah, but that's because they just basically made that trade. They didn't think about like scheme fit, around them. They thought that we got the two most dominant bigs at their positions that this is going to work. And I'm like, well, you have no shooters to space the floor, so not going to work. But with Sacramento, don't forget that Bogdan Bogdanovic, who lit up the EuroLeague for the past, 3 years, he is actually they hold his rights, and he's going to come over as a backup scorer off the bench as well. So they have a lot of young potential. I don't think they make the playoffs this year. Maybe not even next year, but by the time we hit 2020, they're going to be in the hunt for the playoffs.
I'm giving my bold prediction. And Pete, you've heard me say it. No, you've heard me say it. You heard me say it about a couple months ago. If they nailed this draft, they would compete for an 8th seed in the West.
I'll give
next
you that
year.
One. I'll give
next
you,
year,
as long
they
as
will
you didn't
compete.
Say top 4.
No, they will compete in the West next year for an 8th seed. They will
give you that
compete. I'm not saying they're going to make it. I'm not going there. I'm not going full Minnesota. I had Minnesota in the damn conference final last year, and I was dead wrong. Go ahead, Curtlow.
Man, I feel like a teaching the student thing going on. But I want to say, now I want to say, man, I forgot. Damn it, go ahead and do what you think, man. I forgot already.
You were probably making fun of me because I picked the Kings to compete for an 8th seed.
No. You're right and the reason why is because of Mike Malone. Mike Malone is a good coach.
Hey, he had that.
Guys.
Yorger's there now, though. So because you've got Malone. Malone went to Denver, but what?
Oh, I'm sorry. That's what I meant to say. I'm sorry, Pete. Yeah, Jay from the guy from Grizzlies. I'm sorry. Yeah, I just couldn't. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, and he does a great job of getting these guys to buy into the system. I seen it over there in the system. And I just noticed that Sacramento, all they need is shooters. You draft Ben Simmons and you draft a bunch of guys that really can't shoot from the field. They're going to struggle in the NBA when they turn it into a 3-point league. You know what I'm saying? They don't care about post-ups anymore. They don't care about this, that. They care about 3 points and making the league more fun for fans. You know what I'm saying? And to be honest with you, that hurt the Sacramento Kings because they kept drafting bust after bust after bust after bust. But
well,
now they just drafted 3 starters.
That was Vivek there because
and that's the problem. He needs to stay out of everything.
Right. How do you pick Jim or Fredette and pick Stauskas? You know, too many other guys on the board they could have got.
Yeah, but Pete, don't give Vlade a pass on that because he was involved in that too.
Oh, no, I don't give Vlade a pass on anything. That's why I said Scott Perry was the one that basically, was the voice behind this draft. That's why you see it actually go successfully versus, what's happened last year. Because when you draft Papi Giannis, 15th overall, everybody was literally like, who the hell is this guy? Like, how do you draft a second rounder in the lottery?
Yes.
But, we'll see.
Sound like New York Knicks fans.
Don't get me started on it. We'll get there.
Yeah, we're gonna get to we're close to the Knicks now. I'm gonna go to Orlando, and I'm going to you, Pete. Jonathan Isaac. How do you like this fit for the Orlando Magic? Staying in Florida.
It's different. I actually wanted them to take Dennis Smith Jr. because I thought replacing Elfrid Payton would have been the better choice. But Jonathan Isaac does so many things at a versatile level, being able to play basically 3 through 5, that they can make it work. The thing that's going to be questionable is how he fits with Aaron Gordon. And then Aaron Gordon's a restricted free agent in 2018. So, we'll have to see what happens. Gordon hasn't taken the leap that many thought he would. And so Isaac could potentially end up being a filler there. And then if everything pans out with Isaac as far as the shooting off the dribble and stuff like that, then that's even better because he's already there defensively.
Mm-hmm. He kind of – is it just me? Like his game is very similar – I guess because of their build, what can handle it, shoot it a little, kind of like Brandon Ingram, a little bit. Very similar style of game. Maybe I'm wrong, but he kind of reminds me. I think I don't know how his 3-point shooting will be.
And he'll be a 32, 33% to start with 3-point shooter, I think.
Yeah.
But the thing about it is at Florida State, he did not have a high usage rate because Dwayne Bacon there, dominated the ball. And then Xavier Mays was the point guard. He dominated the ball.
Yeah. So you really don't know what Isaac can do on the offensive end. We're not sure.
Right. You kind of got a glimpse of it here and there, but with the NBA level, I think he translates better than what he did at college. So good pick for Orlando. I just wonder how it's going to fit with Aaron Gordon.
Mm-hmm. Curtlow, what do you think of Jonathan Isaac in Orlando?
Matthew and Pete, I'm going to be honest with you. No damn tape on, no damn Isaac. Because the Orlando Magic just blowing every damn draft they did. So this year, I decided to pass on any kind of Orlando Magic thing. And I'm sorry.
Okay. Well,
go ahead, Pete.
I was just going to say that if you look at Orlando, they're trying to change what they did. They got the Toronto Raptors GM there, and I think things are going to be different. I think you're going to end up seeing them make
was
some
it
moves
Toronto's?
here.
Was it Milwaukee's GM?
Milwaukee's GM. Thank you. Yeah. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say Toronto.
I thought it was Milwaukee. Yeah, I thought it was Milwaukee.
Yeah. John Hammond. I'm sorry. Yes, Milwaukee's GM. He kind of comes in and he's going to try to turn them into Milwaukee, which kind of explains the Jonathan Isaac pick. He would be a Bucks guy. Exactly. Same kind of concept. Long, rangy guys can play multiple positions. That's what they're going to go for. I think over time you're going to see guys like Vucevic. You're going to see Biyombo. Those guys moved elsewhere. You could maybe even see a guy like Elfrid Payton as the season wears on. If he doesn't, kind of take advantage of how well he played at the end of the year last year, you could see him elsewhere by next year too. Mm-hmm. So.
I like the Jonathan Isaac pick, just watching some footage. And before, I'd say January, I was just watching I know he was at Florida State, but I was watching highlights of him, AAU highlights. And I like his overall game. I think I like his skill set. I think he can be a really good NBA player. Curtlow, what's up?
I'm sorry, man. I just had to put. I've been watching Alfred Payton since he came out of Louisiana Tech. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know where it is, somewhere in Louisiana. I might have the college wrong. But I've watched this guy since he came out of college, and I've loved everything about him. And he's never lived up to his talent. He could average a triple-double just like Rajon Rondo if he wanted to, but he doesn't, and it pisses me off 24/7. He could be an elite defender if he wanted to, and he doesn't, and it pisses me off. I even told him one time, I was in Houston, Texas, and I was about 5 rows from him, and I told him, I said, you're the best player in your draft class, and you got the nerve to sit there on the bench on preseason. I mean, it was just pissing me off, man. I'm very upset with Alfred Payton. I love him. I think he's not using his talent right, and that might have to do with the coaching and everything else with the GM left and right, moving left. You know what I'm saying? With them drafting bust after bust. But I've been to the Orlando Arena. If you've never been to the Orlando Arena, it's one of the worst arenas you could ever be in because those are the most casual fans you will ever see in your life. And Orlando people can test this. You know what I'm saying?
Transplants, though.
Yeah, they just come out of nowhere. They come from different countries and they just come there just to see the game, just to show up and show their face. Because
our good buddy Keith Smith would tell, being him being in Orlando would tell us if this team's not winning by like January, they start paying attention to like soccer and stuff.
Yeah.
They start singing in the arena. I'm telling you, it's just like football. Yeah, they sing in the arena. They could be losing by 100. They still singing in the arena. They don't give a damn over there, and it's sad. You know what I mean? Because I'm a Orlando Magic fan. You know what I'm saying? I grew up in South Florida. I remember the Shaq Pennies, the Horace Grants, everything over there, Nick Johnson. I remember all these guys back in the day, and I've always been an Orlando Magic fan. They continue to mess everything up over there, and I don't know why.
You trade for Serge Ibaka in the offseason last year, and he's gone already. He doesn't even make it a full season.
Yeah, but Rob Hennigan was inexperienced. He had no experience coming in as a GM. He's gone now. They have experience. I think in 2 years, you're going to see Orlando turn everything around. You see, it took Milwaukee a little bit. They had to get a little bit of luck in the draft, and I think Orlando found their luck in the draft with Jonathan Isaac.
Mm-hmm. We're not saying he's going to be Antetokounmpo, but he's going to be. I think he's going to be a good one. Now, to the fun part of the day, the Chicago Bulls, who trade Jimmy Butler and the number 16 pick to the Minnesota Timberwolves for injured Zach LaVine, who may not play till like January, for Chris Dunn and the number 7 pick, which becomes Larry Markkinen.
Don't laugh too hard, man.
Pete, what the hell?
Okay.
What the hell are they doing?
First thing is they didn't get any other offers that blew them away for Jimmy Butler, apparently, is what was speculated. I don't know how in the hell you think, and they did this last year with the Taj Gibson-McDermott trade. They had to attach a pick. How do you have the better players and you attach a pick to the other team? Like, I don't understand the 16th pick being attached to Jimmy Butler.
They should have. How do you not keep the 16th pick?
Right. Now, I will say with Chris Dunn, his defensive prowess was above average last year if you look at the advanced stats.
And he did play well he did start to show some signs the last month or so of the season.
Offensively, he's still got a way to go. They're not going to bring back Rondo. You bring Cameron Payne in, you don't play him. So
Wade's going to get bought out. Wade will get bought out.
Wade will start the year with Chicago, but then he'll get bought out. Then you've got LaVine, who's coming off the injury. He's progressing well, but he won't play till late December, early January.
I'm not worried about him with the ACL because guys can come back from that now.
No, he'll be fine, but he's got to learn to defend. And then with Markkinen, Jay Billis said it perfectly, better than anybody has said it all year. Lauri Markkinen is 7 foot, but he plays like a 6'5" shooting guard. And that's basically what it is. He does not rebound. He doesn't like to play inside. He fits
Hoiberg's system.
He fits Hoiberg's system, and if anybody's going to pull something out of Markkinen, it's Hoiberg's creative offense if he gets the chance to do that. The thing about it is what I see with Markkinen is his ceiling is going to be like a Ryan Anderson. His floor is going to be a combo of Nicholas Schidisvili and Channing Frye.
Let's hope it's not Skibishvili.
That's the worst case scenario, though, because he shoots off the dribble.
If worst case scenario is Channing Frye, okay, I think you can live with that because that's a good rotation piece going forward.
For Jimmy Butler, though, I mean that's what's going to be.
No. Well, that's what's going to be. I think what you're banking on is Chris Dunn showing some signs and actually becoming the guy we thought he could be, and I
think they're more invested in Levine. Yeah, they're more invested in Levine than anything.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the key. Curtlow, I got to go to you. Chicago Bulls, man. What the hell?
Listen, man, I'm here to tell the whole world. Me and Pete went through yesterday. You know what I'm saying? Love you, Pete. But I want to say, first of all, the Chicago Bulls needed to fire this coach 2 years ago. When you play, let me tell y'all something, man. I ain't say this to Pete yesterday, but when you play Michael Carter Williams and you play Jimmy Butler at the same time, and you get the nerve to put Jimmy Butler as your point guard, what the hell is going on over there in Chicago? You know what I'm saying? When you got Robin Lopez starting in front of Felicio, there's a huge problem in Chicago. Why
I disagree.
Notice this? You know what I'm saying?
I disagree with that though. Lopez
should be starting in front of Lopez. Lopez, it sucks. He's
no way. Lopez.
Let me tell you something. He reminds me of somebody that just makes mistakes after mistakes. You know what I'm saying? Like, that guy that makes mistakes after mistakes. You know what I'm saying? He gets a pass because he does something great. You know what I'm saying? Give me a damn break.
He plays hard.
He plays hard and he hustles and makes screens. Felicia's too long.
He's great.
Corey Brewer plays well too. You don't see him on the Rockets anymore. You know what I'm saying?
He played all right for the Lakers.
I'm glad you mentioned Corey Brewer because you Rockets fans.
I'm sorry, Pete.
Were glad when he was gone.
I mean, the thing about it is yes, he should have played Portis. He should have got him more minutes. But your point to playing Jimmy Butler at point guard, I would rather have Jimmy Butler at point guard than trot out Jerry and Grant and Michael Carter Williams. Like both of them are terrible. Rajon Rondo got punished by Gar Pax. That had nothing to do with Hoiberg.
I'm talking about point guard. I'm talking about running the offense. You want Jimmy Butler running your offense, or do you want Rondo running your offense?
No, I know. With Rondo,
is not a point guard at all.
Right, but with Rondo, the reason that he didn't run the offense is because he ended up getting in a little spat. Gar Pax came out and said, "Look, we're going to punish you. You're sitting. You're not going to play. Take that." And then
hold on real quick. So the decision to sit Rondo really wasn't Hoiberg.
Hoiberg is on puppet strings. So,
damn, too bad we don't have Alana on here with us to confirm everything.
I mean, seriously, he's on puppet strings. I mean, anything that runs through Chicago, they come out and say, "All right, well, we're not going to spend any money this year in free agency. We're just going to do 1-on-1."
and they
what the hell is wrong with you?
We're
in rebuild mode.
Yeah. You know what's funny is this basically the trade they made. Didn't it? The trade they made yesterday, isn't that basically the trade that was on the table a year ago?
Yes.
And they turned. Yeah. Go ahead, Curtlow.
Curtlow,
go. Wait a minute. I got more to say about your boy Hoiberg. How the hell do you play Jasper over Marotti? And you got the nerve. You got the nerve, Marotti, all the way on the bench at the end, and tell him, "Well, you're not performing, so we're gonna put you all the way at the bench, and we're not gonna even play you." What the hell does that tell a player? You know what I'm saying? Well, we don't trust in you. We don't care about you at all. You know what I'm saying?
We're gonna play Zipser.
Yeah,
hey, no, Zipser did all right though, because Zipser did all right.
Pete, you gotta agree with me.
Now Valentine struggled mightily in coming in. He got hurt.
It's a rookie.
Zipser, I mean, at the end of the day, it's not perfect. Hoiberg, I will say, should have been gone, but so should Gar Forman and John Paxson. All of them, they just need to start over with the regime because Chicago is going nowhere.
No.
Where it is now. Wade sees that, but what's Wade going to do? Say, "Oh, I'm opting out of this $24 million." He's going to take that $24 million and force them to pay him $20 out of the $24 million in a buyout and take his ass to Cleveland. So you already know that's happening.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Now I want to go here.
Holding the ball
Go ahead, Curtlow.
Dwayne Wade. Dwayne Wade should have been the point guard the whole season. I don't know what the hell's going on over there. You know what I'm saying? Dwayne Wade has always had the ball in his hand, and whenever he has the ball in his hand, everything seems to work right.
Good things happen.
You know
Good things happen.
Yeah. And it stops him from shooting threes at the same time. You know what I'm saying? So why would the hell would you have Butler when you got Wade and you got Rondo, you know what I'm saying, ready to run the offense for you, but you put Butler at the point guard? It makes entirely. Let me tell y'all something, man. I've been so frustrated with this Hoiberg coach, and you know what I'm saying? Because they have talent. Cameron Payne is a talent. Felicio is a talent. Portis is a talent. You know, Valentine, a talent.
I don't know about Valentine.
Valentine is a talent. He's a better player than Portis. I'm here to tell the world.
I'll give you that.
So why is he starting over? Why is Portis starting over because of a rookie? You got to be a coach, and you got to say to yourself, look, these players are not helping me, and I'm losing. I'm 500. I need to do something. I need to shake this whole roster up. I need to start playing. This is my starting lineup. Dwayne Wade at point guard. Cameron Payne at shooting guard. You know what I'm saying? They can go back and forth with each other. I would have had Jimmy Butler at the 3. I would have had Valentine at the 4, and I would have had Felicia at the 5. I wouldn't have been with Hoiberg. I'll be with Hoiberg than Hoiberg won this season.
There's no way in hell Valentine. He couldn't even play one.
You know what they should? You know what they should have done, Kurt? They should have put Doug. They should have put Doug when they had Curtlow. What about when they had McDermott? You could have put him at the 4, right?
You could have put him at a 3. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is that he's a better. Valentine last year was a better player than Portis, and he was a better player than any other power forward they had on that team last year. So there's no reason why you don't start this rookie, because he's got the winning factor. You know what I'm saying? This kid has it. You know what I'm saying? I noticed with this kid. You might not see it now, Pete. You know what I'm saying? And Matt, because it's hard to see with a 20-year-old, 21-year-old, whatever it is. But when they hit that 23, 24, then you start seeing them say, wow, man, this guy's pretty damn good. You know what I'm saying? Why didn't I see this 3 years ago?
It's like Draymond Green.
Yeah, you didn't listen. When I see the Golden State Warriors play, I said, why the hell is Draymond Green not playing in the playoffs? I said that with Kerr. Yeah, I mean with Mark Jackson when he was coaching them. It was shocking because every time Draymond Green came on the floor, that team played better. There was better leadership, and it was better defense. So it was shocking to me to see that. You know what I'm saying? But that's my point with this whole situation. Once you get a real coach like Steve Kerr or Popovich, whatever it is, that's a great coach in this league, Rick Carlisle, you get these players, you put the right talent in there, okay? You don't worry about what's going on. I think this is going to fit. My ego is better. I think my offense this is how it's going to work with me. No, you put the best talent out there and see what happens. That's not what for the certain reason.
Uh-oh, did they get him?
Might have.
Okay. Oh, he's back. All right. Now we're going to go here now to one of my other favorite teams, the New York Knicks.
Not for long.
Yeah, they draft Frank. Is it Ntilikina?
Ntilikina. No, it's Ntilikina.
Ntilikina. Thank you, Pete. So they draft Frank Ntilikina. You say it again, Ntilikina. Ntilikina. Frank Ntilikina. I'm over here sounding like Charles Barkley. That's what we do here. Frank Ntilikina. I've watching some highlights, watching a couple of his workout videos. I like him. A lot of skill set. He kind of reminds me of I saw the compare some people to the kid from Utah, the Australian kid. But he shoots so much better. Yeah, but he shoots so much better. He's like Dante Exum, but with a jump shot. He really shoots it well. I would have liked Dennis Smith here for the Knicks. But I'm going to you, Frank, or Pete, because this damn Ntilikina guy's got me all discombobulated. But I'm going to you,
That's
Pete.
All right. So Ntilikina is going to struggle. He's 18. He's going to turn 19 very soon before the season starts. The thing with Ntilikina is he plays for Strasbourg, and they actually are playing him as a shooting guard. So he plays a combo guard position. He's going to struggle running the point guard spot. He is a fluid athlete. He can defend. I would say he's behind Fox as far as a defender. He's not the greatest passer, and he doesn't have the greatest handle or the greatest first step, but he fits the need of, number one, he wanted to play in New York. He has a little bit of knowledge of the triangle. Phil Jackson likes taller guards, so they should go there. I actually, once the draft was going, I actually thought that Malik Monk should have been the pick there, just because Monk could, fill it up and score there.
And he could actually play the point too.
Right, and with Ntilikina though, it's just going to take time. But overall, it's not the worst pick in the world, because people trash the Knicks for picking Porzingis, and look what happened.
Yeah.
Now, I personally think it's a disgrace to Porzingis that just because he skipped the exit interview, that Phil Jackson's treating him like crap. But he basically, Phil Jackson wanted astronomical amounts for Porzingis. One of the trades was Devin Booker and the number 4 pick for Porzingis. And that was on the lighter side of things. There were some other trades there that were way, way worse for the team to make, that the Knicks would have fleeced that, whatever the respective team was, and that just wasn't going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So, we'll have to see with Ntilikina. Don't expect much his first year. I don't think he's going to be horrible, but don't expect like a whirlwind. He comes in.
No, but he'll play. He's going to play, though.
Right, he'll play. But I would expect more like a lower level comp, like took a little while, but George Hill when he first came in the league, something like that.
Yeah, that was Jalen Rose's comparison, I think.
Yeah,
was it? I think he compared him to George.
Maybe I kind of tuned down the ESPN broadcast and turned up the verticals. Live stream, just because they're more knowledgeable than sitting there. Watching.
I listen to ESPN because I like Jay Billis. I'm a Jay Billis guy, so I like what he has to say. Curtlow, what about Frank Ntilikina?
I was just watching tape on him today. Knicks got something. This is what Phil Jackson is doing, and I seen it with the Los Angeles Lakers with Lamar Odom and a whole bunch, Paul Gasol and a whole bunch of others buying him. He's been through the draft through length. And I believe Frank has a 6'6", but he's got a 7-foot wingspan, which is freaking amazing to me. These guys coming out of college, man, and coming out of overseas, they got one of the best wingspans I've ever seen. You look at Draymond Green and you look at the Harrell Gobert. These guys, man, their arms hang to the damn ground. You know what I'm saying? That's how great, and that's what people are looking for. But his, I believe he can be a great player in this league. I hate to say, his defense reminds me of Andre Roberson over there in OKC. He's got elite defensive potential. Mm-hmm. I've seen that. You know what I'm saying? But what Phil Jackson is doing, like I said, with the length, the wingspan, and what he's doing, and it's coming to full circle. In this guy now. He's drafting people that are two-way players. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Porzingis
can score if it. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. They're rim protector. Porzingis could be a top 10, top 5 rim protector in this game right now if he wanted to be. You know what I'm saying? But I've seen the potential with him. In the college. In his scouting report. But with this kid right here, this guard right here, it reminds me of Dennis Schroeder. But not with the offensive game that Dennis Schroeder has. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I think he's a better shooter than Dennis Schroeder, though.
Yeah, but I wanted to say also.
I'm not sold on Schroeder as a great shooter. I think this Ntilikina guy, I like the way he's got really good mechanics. I like him as a guy who could hit 40% of his threes.
Let me tell you something with Phil Jackson. Who the hell puts out their best player and their franchise player on their team onto the trade block?
Nobody but Phil Jackson.
And he never hit, and he's not even hit his prime yet.
And this is but we're talking about a guy in Phil Jackson here. All props to him as a coach, what he did, that legendary. But as a GM, this is a guy who's falling asleep during workouts.
Yeah, I heard about that today.
Yeah, you can't. You come on now, Pete. Phil Jackson, man, falling asleep during workouts, it's like he doesn't care.
His knees couldn't even make it to the press conference, to the microphone. He was like struggling to get there. Like the thing about it is Phil Jackson He just needs to go on and move on. The thing
time.
about it is well, he's pushing Carmelo Anthony out the door, not realizing that Anthony has all the power in the world right now. James Dolan doesn't interfere in anything. So he's going to let Phil be Phil. Phil's going to do nothing but piss Porzingis' camp off. So Porzingis just in the back of his mind is thinking, okay, well, when I hit free agency, you're going to be gone potentially, and I'm going to go on my way because this franchise did nothing to want to help me. You see Porzingis in workouts busting his ass every single day.
And look what they did last year. The idea going into this past season was the development of Kristaps Porzingis was your number one goal. What do? You trade for Joakim Noah, or you sign Joakim Noah, you trade for Derrick Rose, ultimately hurting Kristaps Porzingis' development. Just chaos in New York, just absolute nonsense. They need to get rid of Phil if they want to keep Porzingis long-term. Obviously, New York holds all the cards. They can match any contract once he's a free agent, which they will definitely do because Porzingis is top. He's a guy you look at. He should be a top 5 player one day. But it's a mess. I think Ntilikina could be a good player for them. I don't know how he does if they don't run the triangle. That's why I like Dennis Smith.
Oh, they're running the triangle. Everybody that came in for workouts was complaining.
That's what I mean, though. But once Phil's gone, that triangle's gone. Nobody's running the triangle when Phil leaves. That's why I like Dennis. Right. That's why I like Dennis Smith Jr. Better. I've over the last 3 or 4 days to the last week, I've really fallen in love with Dennis Smith Jr., which is the perfect segue to the number 9 pick. And I'm going to go to Curtlow first. Curtlow, Dennis Smith Jr. for the Mavericks.
One question to you: What do you see in Dennis Smith that makes you want to?
I see. Like Pete says, he sees it like a Steve Francis type, but I see Baron Davis. The 48-inch vertical, shoots a really good ball. I think he's going to be a good shooter, explosive, potential to be a really good defender. The guy's fantastic. I think his motor. The only question I have is his motor. But I think
want y'all to remember this. I want y'all to remember this. I want y'all to listen to me clearly. And this is somebody that knows talent when he sees it. Dennis Smith is going to be the bust in the draft, whether people want to believe it or not.
No way.
Come on.
I'm telling you. I said it when Orlando drafted the other guy. You know what I'm saying? What's his name? And people ripped my ass 24/7. What's the Mario, whatever his name is?
Oh, Hezonja.
Yeah, they ripped me a new one for that all year. But I'm here to tell everyone, out of all the top 10 lottery picks, remember this guy tore his ACL in high school. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't do good when he gets doubled. The point guard and he gets doubled, he starts to make bad passes. And he's not a good shooter at all.
He can be careless with the basketball.
He's not a good shooter at all. I'm here to tell the world.
I think
he's a decent shooter.
I think he's
not consistent, Pete. He's consistent in the NBA.
But the thing about it is he's so crafty that he can dribble the ball around in space, get open, and then he has the ability to step back. And his athleticism showed at the very, very end. Obviously, NC State was terrible. They were 229th in the country in defense. So you can't really knock Smith just for that. With Rick Carlisle there, I mean, he's not going to be a bust. There's no way. If you want to look at busts as far as the top 10 picks go, I mean, you could look at Lauri Markkanen. You could look at if De'Aaron Fox doesn't get a jump shot, I'd look at those two first. Before I look at Smith.
Him and Darian, him and Fox are one of the guys I'm looking at like they're not going to make it in this league because they have too many flaws in their game.
Fox, I would say, would end up being a bust before Smith.
Dang, I'm higher on Fox than the both of you guys.
Yeah, I like Fox because of his talent. He's got elite talent. He just can't shoot the ball. That reminds me of Mark. Let me tell you something. Fox shot 24.6 from 3. Put that number in perspective. Michael Carter Williams shot 23.4% from 3. You know what I'm saying? People need to understand. Just because you've seen a great game versus Alonzo Ball, which he's been waiting for his whole career. You know what I'm saying? To see him and show him what he can do. People are judging De'Aaron Fox on that one game. They need to get away from that one game and look at that 24%. From 3.
Here's why I think Fox can be. I don't think he'll ever be an elite shooter, but he has decent mechanics on his shot. It's not. I don't think it's a broke shot. His form is decent. I think he can. There are some fixes that can be made there, and he can be a guy who shoots 35% from three. It might not happen, but I think he can do it. I think he could do it. That's just me.
He uses too much legs on his jump shot. That's just me.
Good, all good points. All very good points. But I like Dennis Smith Jr. I think he's going to be fantastic. Rick Carlisle's a really good coach for him to go to. I'm gonna skip a couple picks here because we have gone long, but I want to get to the number 11 pick now. Malik Monk for the Charlotte Hornets. Pete, do you like this pick for them?
Perfect spot for him. Yeah, perfect spot for him because he's a combo guard coming off the bench. He takes Bellinelli's role, and then he fills in for Ramon Sessions, who they're not bringing back behind Kemba Walker. Coming off the dribble, he's the best shooter in the draft, and with Monk, just his scoring prowess, he's going to be able to excel in the NBA. He's a guy I think that you're going to see November into maybe early December struggle a little bit to the speed of the game, but then he's going to find his niche and really light it up. Mm-hmm. I think with Steve Clifford there, he'll be able to help him with his defense as well. So good pick there. I wasn't sure if they were going to go I didn't think Monk was going to fall that far, number one. I wasn't sure if they were going to try to go defense with Mitchell or go shooter with Kennard, but they get a very versatile player in Monk. So very good pick for Charlotte.
Mm-hmm. I totally agree. I like Monk. I think he's going to be a really good player. But I'm going to go to you, Curtlow, on this one. Malik Monk. What do you think of Monk for Charlotte? Was that a good pick for them?
I think there's a reason why Malik Monk was passed up. I haven't looked at the tapes on him. I've seen him in game wise, and I've noticed that he's just great at everything. I mean, he just, you know what I'm saying, he's got athletic ability, and B-bar IQ is very high. But there's something wrong here, and I'm gonna be looking at it later on today or this weekend. Malik Monk, there's no reason for that guy to be dropped that far, and there's a reason why.
All right, we're gonna have to get back to Curtlow on this one when he watches the tape. Why he thinks he dropped far?
Well, he's undersized. That's the big thing.
I agree.
He doesn't pass well, and
he doesn't rebound well. He doesn't defend well.
He doesn't get to the basket at all. He doesn't try to drive to the basket at all. So, you know, the NBA is
that's a big time problem, Pete.
Yeah, I mean, but he didn't have to do it.
That's a big time problem. You can't develop your own shot.
But he didn't. No, he can develop his own shot, but he just doesn't get all the way to the rim. But he didn't have to in the offensive system he was in because De'Aaron Fox did all the ball handling and got to the rim because Fox couldn't shoot outside. So it kind of balanced out. That's where I want to see Summer League come and see if Monk is able to get to the rim. Because he is athletic enough that he can dunk the ball and finish. He just doesn't.
I'd like to see Charlotte play Monk at the point during Summer League. Put the ball in his hand. At least put the ball in his hands a lot. That's what I want to see. See how he does in the pick and rolls. But you know what? They were interviewing Calipari, and he said Monk can play in the pick and roll. He didn't put him in a lot during hardly ever, but he said Monk can play in the pick and roll.
Calipari always boosting his players up, you know.
Yeah, but remember, like we said, like Devin Booker can play in the pick and roll. He didn't do that at Kentucky. He can do it in the NBA though.
I saw Devin Booker in college, and I didn't understand why he was coming off the bench. And Devin Booker is an elite talent, and I see.
You know why? You know why Devin Booker came off the bench? He came off the bench because of the Harrison twins. Who are from Houston, Texas, by the way.
And you see what they're doing in the NBA. One can't even sniff the league anymore, and the other one's coming off the bench as out of position point guard.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. And they were two of the top 10 ranked high school players in the country their senior year. Yes. All right, now I'm going to skip a little bit ahead. Then we're going to go to winners and losers. Real quick, a guy that I liked out of UCLA. I want to go to Indiana real quick before we get to our winners and losers. I want to get your thoughts, Curtlow, on TJ Leaf to the Indiana Pacers.
For the next level, you know what I'm saying? He's gonna stretch the floor. He's gonna do everything they need to. You know what I'm saying? There's some players. You see, Carlton Towns was a horrible college player, but when you see him come to the NBA. He's got elite talent, right? So people go. I've heard some people say, "Well, he's gonna be a bust," and because look at he averaged 10 points and this that. Let me know how a player is until they get to the NBA level. 3-point shooting is a diamond in the rough. People are looking for 3-point shooting like they're looking for the best defensive player in the league, or looking for Draymond Green. You know what I'm saying? When you have somebody that can stretch the floor at that size, it gives a lot of space to superstars that are trying to drive to the lane and not shoot jump shots.
Absolutely. Pete, your thoughts on TJ Leaf to the Indiana Pacers?
Good fit next to Miles Turner because Turner can block some shots and things like that. So Leaf will be able to be out on the perimeter. But you skipped the guy I wanted to mention just real quick.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yes, Pete. We respect you.
Well, in Luke Kennard.
Okay, yeah.
He goes to Detroit. This is something that's going to be J.J. Redick, and Matt, you and I kind of talked yesterday.
Yeah.
It's going to be J.J. Redick all over again. He's going to struggle to see the floor right away if KCP, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, comes back to Detroit because he doesn't defend well. But I think in 3 years we're going to see Luke Kennard be the best shooter to come out of this draft, and he's going to excel. A lot of people just are.
And here's the thing, though. He's better at this. He's obviously younger than when J.J. Redick came out of college. He's much better with the ball in his hands than J.J. was.
Correct. Yep.
And that's what I like about him.
And honestly, we talked about T.J. Leaf, and I actually thought T.J. Leaf would have been a better fit in Atlanta than John Collins because losing Paul Millsap, which is going to happen, they basically could stretch the floor. And Budenholzer is always looking for guys that play versatile roles, and I think having that stretch guy there would do better than John Collins, where John Collins is more of a rebounder, can knock down shots a little bit, but is more of an inside guy, and I don't know how that's going to fit with Miles Plumlee and potentially Muscala if they bring him back. So Atlanta's trending downward fast.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, what I want to do before we get to our winners and losers, I want to talk about. I want to go to you, Curtlow, for second round steals. What are some players you think could be steals that were picked in the second round?
Frank Mason 3.
Yes.
Out for Frank. I keep telling everybody this now. This is one of the top 10 players that should have been drafted but not drafted. You know what I'm saying? They don't see the talent. They just see the size. They see the 5'8", 5'9", 5'10", whatever he is. And they're just looking at that. You know what I'm saying? And those type of players like Isaiah Thomas, when he was drafted second round, whatever it was.
If he was picked 60, he was the last pick in the draft.
Last pick in the draft in the second round. You know what I'm saying? And he had something to prove. This guy has more to prove. It's his mentality. World that he is an NBA player because they've been doubting him nonstop. He's 5'9", he can't do nothing. He can't do this. This guy I've seen in a tournament that will just turn the world upside. I'm here in 2 or 3 years. He's going to be the best player on the Sacramento Kings. Write that down.
Damn.
No way.
That's a bold prediction.
Right.
You done hit the like hot take of the night, man.
That's hot take, yes.
2 or 3 years. Don't say next year because I'm gonna be looking stupid. It's gonna be 2 or 3 years from now. You know what I'm saying?
You forgot to tell him don't at you.
Right.
You're gonna get a yes. Don't at me. He's gonna be the best player on the Kings. Buddy Hield.
Hey, let me tell y'all something. These are the 3 people I've looked at in the draft that I say that nobody's been paying attention to. DJ Wilson.
From Michigan.
I've seen in the tournament with this guy. Yeah, from Michigan. I've seen in the tournament with this guy. This guy laughs at pressure. You know what I'm saying? This guy knocked down big time shots after shot after shot in that tournament.
And he fits with Milwaukee.
He is an NBA player, stretch 4, stretch 5, and can also protect the rim.
And long.
Above average on exactly. Above average on D. And this guy makes the right pass. A lot of people don't know this about DJ Wilson. He's getting double teamed or he's getting, when he feels like he sees a player cutting, he's going to make the right pass. This guy is a winning player. He's a great role player at that, too. I'm telling y'all now, Jason Kidd is not stupid. Jason Kidd's seen that, too, in the tournament. And also, I want to say with Jared Grant, Is that his name? The guy in Brooklyn. That's another guy people are sleeping on. He should have been a
Jared
top
Allen.
10 player.
Jared Allen.
Top 10, yeah, University of Texas product. He should have been a top 10 player in this draft. A lot of people slept on. He should have been top 15. You know what I'm saying? But he kept slipping. You know why? Because they say he don't have the mentality to be. You know, he doesn't believe basketball is the #1 sport in his game. I understand where they're coming from, but with a talent like that, you don't see talent like this guy has right here, because he can shoot the three, he can post up, he can do all these things at an elite level, and he can play defense at the same time. Two-way players are at the maximum in this league. People are looking for two-way players, especially everybody coming out of college thinking they don't need to play defense. And another guy that just stands out to me, and I'm very impressed with. I can't remember his name.
We'll get back to you, Curtlow. I'm going to go to Pete now. Some steals. It can be first round, second round.
Second round to go with Curtlow's Frank Mason, because he's one of the steals in the second round. I'm going to say two more, three more for me. Juwan Evans is going to the Clippers. I think he's basically CP3 all over again.
Ooh, what?
Well, he led. You got to look at out of Oklahoma State. He led that team with no other Division I really good products that are ready for the NBA. So look at the numbers. Look at the numbers that Juwan Evans had, and look at CP3's last two seasons at Wake Forest. Compare those numbers. Very similar. And then Sterling Brown going to the Milwaukee Bucks. I think he takes Rashad Vaughn's spot at the shooting guard position. Plays well. And then, obviously, the known steal, everybody's called it, is the Chicago Bulls giving up their pick to the Golden State Warriors, and Jordan Bell going to the Warriors. He can play that small ball center role. It's going to take James Michael McAdoo's spot. As far as first round steals go, Donovan Mitchell is going to do great for Utah. Great defender, going to fit him well there. And then as far as overall, I think Derek White for the San Antonio Spurs is phenomenal for that system. It's going to basically fill in as a Danny Green replacement, I think.
I've got one in the second round, and I've got one in the first round. I said it on Twitter. Everybody saw it. Before he was picked by the Knicks, I said Damian Dotson is going to be the steal of the second round. Can shoot the hell out of the ball. Decent athlete. I think he's going to be a really good player. He's a Houston guy, Yates High School. Curtlow knows about Yates High School. A lot of products come out of there. Then in the first round, I'm going to say Dennis Smith Jr. at number 9. I think that's going to end up being a steal. I think he could be the best point guard in this draft. Right now, obviously, you got Fultz, Fox, and those guys, but I think Junior could end up being the best. It might not happen, and I could be totally wrong. I thought Adam Morrison was going to be a good NBA player, and we saw how that turned out. Pete, you probably thought he was too, right?
Not Adam Morrison.
Oh, wow. But I thought Redick would be a good player. It took him longer than I thought it would.
Redick I thought would be.
Yeah.
That was because of the situation.
I've been totally wrong before, and Damian Dotson could maybe not even be in the NBA as a rookie. It could happen.
He takes Sasha Boyach's spot. So
yeah, I'd take him over Sasha. Curtlow, his hands up. Curtlow, I'm going to you.
University of Houston is one of the softest conferences in the NBA, in the college realm. I want you to remember that when you think about this guy. You know what I'm saying?
But Damian Dotson, I believe he was at Oregon though, right? Before he transferred.
I don't know about that.
I believe he started out at Oregon and then transferred.
That's a good question. I'm not sure.
Before we go off, hold on. I'm going to look.
He was 2 years at Oregon.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, he's a big time. He was a big time player. I like Damian Dotson.
Why did he transfer from Oregon to University of Houston?
He transferred so he could go out and get buckets. Let's be honest, because he was going to get more playing
Kobe
time.
Bryant, Kobe.
That's why he transferred. He probably won't say that, but that's why, so he could get playing time and get buckets.
Kobe.
Well, Dylan Brooks came on.
Yeah, and now let's go here. You know, I was going to go with winners of the draft. Let's go with the losers of the draft first. Curtlow, who are some losers? What teams were losers in this year's draft?
I'll go go to Pete because I'm not sure about that right now.
All right, Pete, losers.
Chicago Bulls.
You don't even have to expand. Don't expand on it. Just say it.
No, I mean, that's a given. I mean, how in the hell do you give up Jimmy Butler for that haul? And then let's see. I would look at Portland possibly being a loser because I'm not sold on Zach Collins when you've already got Myers Leonard there. I think he's a better player than Myers Leonard. I just wonder, like, the reason I say that is you made the trade with Sacramento. So if you're Portland, how do you not package one of your crappy contracts that you need to get out of to not move up? I mean, I have nothing against Zach Collins. I just, I wouldn't have moved up to 10 to get Zach Collins. And then lastly is the Denver Nuggets, if the Denver Nuggets don't make any other moves, because you basically trade back and you get Tyler Lydon, who's not really, good shooter, but they wanted OG Anunoby and they missed out because the Raptors picked them one spot ahead. The Nuggets have a lot to figure out as far as the depth chart. You'd already dangled Emmanuel Mudiay in talks, basically to get Eric Bledsoe. That fell through at the 11th hour. So now, like, you're going to have to trade Mudiay. You've got to move Kenneth Faried. Gallinari's probably gone. He's probably going to Brooklyn because Brooklyn's going to miss out on Otto Porter. So a lot of question marks for Denver.
Obviously, I'm with you on the Chicago Bulls. I think everybody is. That's probably the only real big loser I would say was the Bulls. I mean, it's hard to say with some of these other teams. I'm interested. When I get to my winners, I got one there well, actually, no, I'm going to call it a loser. I'm going to call him a loser for this reason. I think he could be a good player. The Oklahoma City Thunder. I love who they picked. But here's why I'm putting them as a loser. Because he was a big Golden State Warrior fan. And I've watched OKC Twitter. They have blasted that pick because he was a Warrior fan. So OKC, you're a loser because you drafted a Golden State Warrior fan. And Oklahoma City Thunder Twitter can't stand the Warriors.
Yeah, but Terrence Ferguson needs to be on the losers list because that was a reach. He's a streaky shooter. He can't defend. He's very thin. He's a guy that you're going to see like Derrick Jones Jr. last year for Phoenix. He's somebody that ends up in the dunk contest and, does well. And that's how people know who he is. He's not going to make an impact for OKC.
See, so Pete and I are on the same page here. They're losers, but we got them as losers for different reasons. But how ironic is it that you draft a guy that's a big Golden State Warrior fan? These OKC fans on Twitter were retweeting his tweets about Golden State. They can't stand this guy. I think it's ironic. Curtlow, I'm going to go to you now for winners. What are some? Who was a couple winners of this draft?
Yeah, I'm not sure on the losers, but winners got to be the Sacramento Kings, man. Like I told you before Pete came in, they have 3 starters that they just drafted, and De'Aaron Fox, what's his name, Jackson, and what's the Mason. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If they can put those 3 together on the court, you can guarantee Sacramento Kings will be a 500 team. But I saw a bunch of people the losers. I've seen a lot of people. The losers, in my opinion, is the Dallas Mavericks. They just drafted this guy. They're not doing anything with their it's like a whole bunch of D-League players on one team. You know what I'm saying? And then they got the nerve to put Dennis Smith. And then they got think about it. They got Seth Curry. They got who's the other guy over there?
Okay, so you got Seth Curry. You got Dirk. You got Noel. You got Wesley Matthews.
Noel's the best player on their team. So who?
Remember, guys, everybody, we got to remember, Curtlow is a Rockets fan, so he can't stand the Dallas Mavericks.
You know me too well, man.
Be honest, Curtlow, hatred. He admitted earlier on pre.
I know that
hatred is coming out.
That's a Dallas Mavericks fan. He always throws my name in trash. You know what I'm saying? Every time he gets on his YouTube, and he's famous too in Dallas. You know what I'm saying? Because they love him over there. Because when he comes to YouTube, they love him 24/7 when he comes to the Toyota Center, and he wears this mask. You know what I'm saying? And people always messing with him 24/7. So he always brings my name up 24/7. And I was talking to him today about it. And I said, man, I was looking at that roster. I said, man, ain't nothing but a whole bunch of D-League players. Three out of 5 starters are D-League players. You know what I'm saying? Give me a break. Wesley Matthews, when the last time he been good? You know what I'm saying? He had a career-ending injury.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? This guy was horrible last year. I don't think anybody was watching Wesley Matthews, but he was one of the worst players in the league last year. You know what I'm saying?
Curtlow's bringing the fire. Pete, Curtlow's giving us the fire hot takes tonight. That's what it's all about. I like it. I like it. Pete, winners.
Hey.
Go ahead, Curtlow.
No. Go ahead. No, I'm sorry. I was going to say something stupid, so go ahead.
No, say it. No, go ahead. Say something stupid.
Nah.
All right.
Too many stupid stuff in. I get
That's all right. That's all right, Curtlow.
I know, like you acting like Noel, Dirk, Harrison Barnes, Seth Curry, like none of those guys can play.
Hey, Curtlow, you're lucky. You're lucky.
Wait.
Curtlow's lucky I'm not Justin Termini because Justin Termini can be a dick to you sometimes.
Yeah, Termini would have shut you down already.
Let me tell you something about Tremaine, man. You know what I'm saying? And he was the only person that really cared about me when I was in the hospital for about 5 or 6 months straight. And he always sent me text messages, hey man, how you doing? And he's actually called me when the Rockets lost. He told me he texted me on Twitter. He said, "Look, man, I need your number. We calling you now." I said, "Whoa, you know, don't believe what you hear on the radio about Jermaine because he's actually
man, he's a good dude. Like I've DM'd back and forth with him multiple times. Like very good dude. Like
he's a personality. He's a personality.
He's got to be a certain personality on the radio.
He don't know basketball, but he damn sure know everything else about it. You know what I'm saying? But this is how it is. You know what I'm saying?
I'm going to you now, Pete. Who are your winners in this year's draft?
You got to give it to Philly for jumping up to get Fultz. Perfect fit for that team with Simmons being able to handle the ball as well. Lonzo Ball with the Lakers is just going to be phenomenal. I know people are making fun of him because of his dad, but just his ability to handle the ball and not over dribble. I mean, he gets the ball and moves it. I mean, he can shoot from deep. That shot's funky, but it goes in. And I think you're going to see some things that he didn't show at UCLA. Dallas, Dennis Smith Jr. is going to be the starter from day one. It's already been confirmed by Rick Carlisle. He's going to excel there. And then, obviously, Sacramento, what they did, big turnaround from last year. And last one that I have that people, wonder, how it's going to turn out. Donovan Mitchell for Utah, I think he's going to be a really, really good defender, and I think his offense is going to come around. He's going to be a sleeper. He's not going to be a top 5 when you look back at his draft, but he's going to be a guy that you could say he made a heck of a difference and really fit in.
So like a really, really solid rotation guy on a good team.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think he's in Utah for years to come.
We got a question in the chat here that I just saw from Hunter Iggy. What are your thoughts on Dwayne Bacon and the Pelicans?
He's a high usage guy. He's not with the Pelicans. He got traded to
that's right.
Shoot. He got traded to Charlotte. Because it was a deal for Frank Jackson.
Yeah, my fault.
You needed to flip-flop. You could flip-flop those two back to each other. I think Frank Jackson would have fit better with Charlotte as the backup behind Walker, and Bacon would have fit better on the Pelicans because Bacon's a high-usage guy. He doesn't really pass. He has to score. He's a guy that's going to light up the D-League or G-League now with 20 points.
Gatorade League.
Right, 20 points, 5 assists, and 5 rebounds. He's that kind of player. I don't think he's going to last in the NBA very long. I don't think he makes the Charlotte Hornets. If he does, it's going to be at the expense of a guy like Travion Graham, who made the team last year. I could see him in that kind of role where he doesn't play much, but he's on the team.
My winner, obviously. The big winner for me, the Sacramento Kings. They did exactly, and we've got it. I believe we have it on YouTube. We have the footage. I'd have to pick it up. But Pete remembers when I said at that late pick, I wanted him, even if they had with that Pelicans pick, if it was 10 or 11, I wanted him to take Jackson that high. I know it would have been a reach. But they got him, and they basically flipped that and got also Giles, who's very, I'd say low risk, high reward even. Because no one's. I know I said high risk, high reward to Pete yesterday when I texted him, but I think it's more low risk, high reward. You don't really expect much, but you could get a top 5
guy. The 20th pick, so it's not like it's the end of the world if you miss. 2 torn ACLs,
and if he becomes a good NBA player, what a hell of a trade. Also, I'm with Pete. The Los Angeles Lakers. I think Lonzo Ball. I think he's going to be a generational guy. I do. I wasn't high on him a few weeks ago, and then I just started watching and realizing what he did for UCLA, the passing. I think shooting-wise, spotting up, he's going to be just fine. I have to stop here. I'm going to Curtlow. His hand is up. What's up, Curtlow?
Hey, I appreciate that, yo. Hey, I want to say, with Lonzo Ball, he has the it factor. A lot of people don't know that. He's got a Kevin Martin release. He's got a Kevin Martin release from his shot, but that don't mean nothing to me. You know what I'm saying? But the it factor, he has the ability to be great in this league. I remember I was just reading something today with the Los Angeles Lakers where Kobe Bryant went up to him and he said something to him that, you know, are you a good post-up player? He said, yeah. I didn't get nothing out of Kobe Bryant. You know what I'm saying? That's how it came off to me. And that led me to believe this guy is really going to be good in this league. He has the it's not about the passing. It's not about the. It's about that factor that you think you can. Yeah, confidence. You think you can be great in this league. A lot of people have it, but a lot of people don't believe in it.
He's got
and
great
I think Lonzo Ball, and I think Lonzo Ball believes in it.
And you know who else believes in it?
Today in his head.
And yeah, LeVar's going to say LeVar Ball believe. You heard what he said, Pete. I got to go to you on this one real quick because we weren't with you. You weren't on us. LeVar Ball said Los Angeles makes the playoffs this year because of Lonzo.
Is he going to speak that into existence too?
Hey, you know what though? Maybe Zeus and Jesus told him that, just like Zeus and Jesus told him he was going to be the second pick.
So the two brothers, the one's going, it's LaMelo and LiAngelo. And LaMelo, I believe he's the younger one, correct?
Yeah. He's ranked 16th in the country. He's the 16th ranked high school player in the country.
The thing about it is
I'm not buying it.
He's a streaky shooter, so he doesn't do anything great. So he's not going to excel unless he really improves in the next 2 years. He's not going to excel when he gets to college. You're going to see LiAngelo struggle at UCLA next year.
He's not even going to play. He's not even going to play.
He'll play, but he's not. He's going to struggle.
He may play the first couple games, and when they realize how trash he is, he's going to be sitting at bench.
The thing about it with LeVar Ball, like he is all about marketing, to stay relevant, and you got to think about it in terms of, he asked for that $1 billion sneaker deal for his 3 kids, and people laughed and made fun of him and all that stuff, and like, okay, these Zo2s are $495 or whatever.
He's a smart businessman.
You got to understand, his wife had a major stroke. I can only imagine the medical costs that are going through that family right now to keep her comfortable and going strong, and she's still not able to talk. So my prayers are out to the Ball family, and as much as a character guy as LeVar Ball is on the surface, I think that if you care that much about your family, like he's a good dad overall. Like I don't agree with his parenting skills.
Yeah. I think overall he's, for the most part, I don't like what they did on Fox Sports with him when they really try to, go after him. We're not going to get into that because we talked about it a while ago. We did on this. Right. But I think overall he's done a really good job with those 3 boys.
Mm-hmm.
They're good human beings. They stay out of trouble.
And if Tina Ball had that big of a problem with it, like if he was that bad of a dad or whatever, she would have walked away. Like, you think she just sits on the sidelines and says, I'm not going to be involved? She's the quiet type that does all the, nuanced things that, a mom should do behind the scenes and keeps LeVar in check. So,
I was going to say, I think Jalen Rose hit it perfectly. He's the ultimate hype man.
Right. And the thing about it is he's got to pay off the luxury cars that he bought for the son so they're not tempted to do stupid stuff. He's got to pay off the medical costs. Like, all those things come into play. Like, Lonzo's just the quiet kid that his game shows on the court. Yes, he got torched by De'Aaron Fox in that game, but De'Aaron Fox is a different breed of a speedy point guard. So and Lonzo's not known for his defense, so you can't really chalk it up there. Lonzo did everything for that UCLA team all season to get them relevant. So
absolutely,
I don't look at one bad game of, okay, well, Fox, we should take him over Lonzo Ball.
Lonzo's going to be better than De'Aaron Fox.
Right. Now, I think that with Magic Johnson there, I think he's going to help Lonzo be the best player he can be. The player that needs to move, and I saw reports that he dropped the Lakers from all his Twitter stuff, is Jordan Clarkson.
Yes,
Jordan Clarkson does not need to be there.
We were talking, Dave and I were talking about that before you jumped on. He just doesn't fit because they want to run, but with Luke Walton there, they kind of want to be Golden State-esque with their offensive schemes. He doesn't fit that because he's a chucker.
Right. And I think that you're going to see.
Can you get something for him, though?
You'll get a minor,
I think you should, though, because you're paying him too much for what he does.
You're almost going to have to throw in, it sounds bad, but like Julius Randle. You're going to have to throw in Jordan Clarkson and something if you want to get an upper echelon player, like if you deal for Paul George now. The thing about it is it's so risky getting Paul George now because you can get him next year. But then if Boston swoops in and signs him to that 3-year extension, then that takes it out of the equation. And then you're banking on LeBron.
Yeah, and I think that's the biggest thing with Paul George. Obviously, he won't. But if someone like Cleveland or Boston gets him, he may be swayed to stay. He may end up deciding.
Cleveland's not going to make any moves because they can't even get their GM situation straight. How do you have Jimmy Butler and Paul George deals on the table? Excuse me.
And Kyrie,
and then all of a sudden fire your GM and then you're gone. And then say, well, we might dangle Kyrie Irving. And Kyrie Irving, just to set the record straight, and people can blast me all they want to, he is not a top 20 player in the NBA.
Ooh.
No, he's a top 10 point guard, but he's not a top 20 player. Like, I'm sorry, he's just not.
I got him in the top. I probably have him in the top 20. I can see why you say no. I'm not going to disagree with you. I totally see why you say no.
I like what he does offensively, but just defensively, it's just not there. And his ability to make teammates better.
I've said this many times the last couple months while Cleveland was playing well in the playoffs. It's easy to look like that when you're playing with the best player in the world.
Right. Let's see him play without LeBron, and let's see what happens.
And look what happens when LeBron sits and Kyrie's in the game. It goes to shit.
Right, because he doesn't play defense. He doesn't involve his teammates very well. No. And then, those shots where he's coming off the dribble, it's you can look at the rim, his creative finishing. One of the best players, in the NBA at finishing at the rim and different sorts of shots. But he's not a
better finisher at the rim, though, than Stephen Curry. He's not. He's more creative, but he's not a better finisher.
Yeah, but Curry finishes in a different way, though. Curry has deeper floaters.
That's what I'm saying. I think Kyrie's more creative with his finishes, but is he a better finisher at the rim percentage-wise? Not even close. Curry's the best finishing point guard in the league.
Right, but also Curry's in a different dynamic of.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
You got to go. You got to look for Klay Thompson, Durant, and
Draymond Green, and you can throw lobs to JaVale McGee. I agree.
Right. So
I totally agree.
It's a little different. The thing about it with Cleveland, they're going to have a big wake-up call because LeBron could be gone. And the thing about it is with LeBron, like his kids are in private school in LA right now.
Mm-hmm.
So his wife didn't even want to go back to Cleveland for the reasons of ramifications of why he left in the first place. She didn't want that, burden. He won his chip in Cleveland. Call it a day because you're not going to win there. The owner doesn't seem like he can make up his mind.
And I don't think the fans would blast him as much this time. He got him a ring, and I think
they're going to hate him.
They're going to hate him, but I don't think it'll be as bad.
Right, and the thing about it is fans are going to hate all the way around. Like fans are hating on Kevin Durant because they say he ran to a title. Like, come on, like LeBron did it first. So LeBron formed the super team, so you can't. I don't fault Durant. Durant did the best thing to win a title.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I would have done the same damn thing.
Yeah, I agree. He did what he had to do. I'm not mad at him. It wasn't a weak move to do, but it was weak for LeBron to do what he did. Am I mad at him? Absolutely not. It was weak. It was weak. Everybody will agree that it was a weak move. Even our good buddy Brady, who is a diehard Warrior fan, will probably say it was a weak move. It was a weak move, but he did what I'm not hating on him. LeBron's move was weak, but he did what he did, so what? We put
But
so much.
what was Durant going to do? Like the only step up is Durant would have been able to go to Golden State. Otherwise, he's stuck with Westbrook. Westbrook can't finish at the end of games. No wondering if you're ever going to get the ball back from Westbrook in tight situations. Like, why would Durant want to do that? His biggest thing is he got close to a championship, getting into the finals, a few years ago, and he wanted that back. And, so be it. At the end of the day, Cleveland wasn't going to win it this year. Cleveland barely won it last year.
Draymond Green doesn't get suspended. They win. Golden State wins it.
Byron, you better not at me for this.
Byron's at you. You know he is.
Yeah. So Draymond doesn't get suspended. They win it. So and Kyrie hit that step back three.
And I still think. And here's the thing: Golden State wins last year. Durant still goes to Golden State.
Exactly, and so. You could chalk it up to a number of things. The one thing I do want, though, this offseason, I want to see Paul George get moved because I think that has to happen. I also want to see the Melo situation come to a resolution in New York because just Melo dragging it out in New York, especially going through a separation in his marriage, that's hard enough. And then turn around and you've got Phil Jackson playing mind games with you. And Porzingis, like dogging him out, like that whole situation needs to go away. It's going to be an interesting offseason, say the least. The Clippers, they're going to be in for a rude awakening. You could potentially lose CP3, Blake, and then Redick. Like that's going to decimate them.
DeAndre Jordan's going to be their best player.
Right. I think Redick signs back, and I think that CP3 ends up going back. I don't know about Blake. I just don't think that.
Where does he go? Where does Blake Griffin go then? If and obviously we'll all be back for our free agency marathon and all that. But where do you think he goes?
I don't know. Potentially Miami's been thrown out on the table as an option. I mean, I know Alana is not going to like that.
Wait, she'll be on. We'll get her on. We'll get her back on during free agency, especially when Miami makes a move.
And then, like the other thing is a team like Memphis.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what's going to happen to them? Because JaMychal Green, Zach Randolph.
I hear Randolph wants to go to Golden State.
That's not going to happen. Everybody's going to be linked to Golden State because they won the title. That's just the way.
If Zach Randolph's willing to take the minimum, Golden State's going to sign him.
No, I mean that's not gonna. I don't think that happens. But
I
think
that's why Golden State is in such a great situation. All these veterans who are good, still really good rotation guys, are going to want to take the minimum to go to Golden State.
$75 million of Memphis's money is tied up with Conley, Parsons, and Gasol.
And Parsons doesn't even play.
But the cap is at $99 million. So
it's not as and it's not and it's low. And speaking of that, it's lower than it was supposed to be.
Yeah, it's $2 million lower than what it's supposed to be. It was $10 million lower than what it was estimated. I think was it 4 or 5 years ago what they were estimating. Mm-hmm. So that's a big difference. And teams like Boston thought they were going to be able to maneuver a little bit better. Now they've got to scramble if they're going to get Gordon Hayward and things like that. But yeah. Free agency starts July 1st, and
July 1st.
The memorandum ends on like the 6th, I think, or something like that. So
yeah, and then we got summer league, and then we got summer league and all that good stuff. And we'll be back. We'll have we're gonna be here. I'm gonna try. I don't know how Pete will be able to make all of them, but I'll definitely do as many as we can for summer league. each night. I'll try to go daily. I'm not gonna guarantee it, because I'll be out of town and some. My cousin has AAU tournaments, big AAU tournaments coming up in July. So, obviously I'll have Wi-Fi and access and all that, but we'll see. I won't be able to watch all the summer league games on those nights, and that's why I'm not sure. But we'll definitely be here we'll definitely try to do a lot of free agent stuff. I know we did it last summer, and we'll definitely be back for that. Pete, are you able to do a lot of the free agent stuff like we did last year?
I mean, I can try to make what I can. With my schedule being different, I've got a lot of kind of fists in the fire, so to speak. So
we'll try. We can do. We'll try weekends, like Fridays. We'll go.
Yeah, Fridays is a lot better. Like to do once a week for me. Like trying to fit it in at the end of the evening during the week is hard. Like even doing some other stuff, side projects that I've got going on has been difficult to fit it in. with the main job, and then obviously my son, taking care of him and things like that. So, I make what I can, I watch what I can, I don't get to check everything out, but, it's good to have a good array of guests on the panel and change it up and stuff like that too. So
don't worry though, everybody. Pete and I will be back full time at some point. It is going to happen.
Yeah, hopefully when we get to the fall, it works out. If it gets delayed a little bit, then Matt, you're still holding it strong. So no worries there. We'll just have to see how it goes. It's all about the time and commitment and stuff like that. So and I'm not somebody, I don't like to say, yeah, I'll do this and commit to it, and then I have to back out. So we'll see, but good coverage for sure for the free agency. Because I think there's going to be a lot of fireworks very quickly in free agency.
And we'll do, I don't know if Pete will be able to make all of them, but if there's a big free agent signing that's unexpected, we'll hop on right after and we'll talk about it, just like last year we did with Kevin Durant when he signed. And if it's a weekend, hopefully Pete will be able to join us for all that. If not, I'll definitely bring something. We'll definitely have some guests on, and we'll hit all the big, if there's a big unexpected one.
And just so everybody knows, the new change to the CBA, all the draft picks, they now get the 120% rule instead of the possible 100%. So now you're seeing the draft picks sign right away rather than waiting until free agency starts. So they'll be good to go when summer league starts, and I believe it's Ntilikina and Smith right off the bat for summer league, if I'm not mistaken, for Orlando. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah, Keith mentioned that. Keith tweeted that. That'll be a good one.
Yeah, it should be interesting. I think Smith will dominate that matchup. But, Ntilikina has been playing. He just played today for Strasburg. I don't know if they actually – I'd have to look and see if they won.
They lost. I think they lost. I think Ntilikina's team lost. Yeah. I saw it on Twitter. Someone said Ntilikina took an L in their game. So I'm guessing they lost. I think this year's Summer League could be really competitive because I think a lot of players from last year's draft are going to play.
Yeah, I mean that's the goal, and you've got guys that are going to improve, like Brandon Ingram, stuff like that.
Is Ingram going? I'm assuming Ingram and Buddy Hield will play.
I would assume that both would play, but I don't know how much they're going to play. That's the thing.
Yeah, I could see them get like a game or two off.
Potentially. I'm trying to look to see what the score was real quick for Strasburg. I don't see it.
And I don't think
74 to 65.
Yeah, and I don't think Collie Stein will play this year.
No, he won't play.
That would be interesting if he did.
It'll be interesting. Every year in Summer League, there's 2 or 3 guys that end up, pushing really strong and showing out, and they end up being undrafted and they make the rosters for NBA teams. So that'll be exciting too.
A guy like Fred VanVleet.
Right, and now you've got the 2-way contracts, which is new to the CBA, which now allows teams to hold 17 contracts on the roster instead of 15. And then with the 17 roster spots, that allows teams to pay them like they're in the NBA when they're playing.
And send them down to the G League.
Put them in the G League and pay them like they're in the G League, but they get a higher salary than regular G League players.
I see. I like that. They're going more to like what baseball does with their farm system. I think every team in the NBA needs a G League team.
There's a cap of games that they can play, and I don't know right offhand what the cap of the number of games that they can play in the NBA. I want to say it's like 20-something games total that they can play in for the season for the NBA, but it's good for guys that they want to develop. Like the Knicks got Luke Cornett, put him on a 2-way contract, things like that. Like I could see a guy like Kobe Simmons that went undrafted from Memphis getting a 2-way contract. The Memphis picked him up for Summer League. Maybe he could be somebody they bring up and down to gain experience. Just things like that. It helps keep guys out of the overseas market and helps the G League even more. Now, if only they can play the G League players a reasonable salary instead of $12,000 for the lowest tier. I mean, that's terrible. I mean, I know they get housing and insurance, but that's still pretty low.
Absolutely. Well, I think that's going to wrap us up. Curtlow had to go, but we went a little longer than I thought. But I think summer leagues, free agency starts, July 1st, so we're about a week away. A week from a week from Saturday, a week from tomorrow, I believe. So we'll be back during free agency. We'll do some free agency episodes. We'll definitely do some summer league stuff, and we'll have a lot of content out over the summer for everybody out there. But so I'm guessing since July 1st Saturday, we'll try to go Monday unless something big happens Saturday. We'll probably shoot for Monday, July 3rd for our next episode. So until then, guys, go ahead, Pete.
I was gonna say, I think you may want to try Sunday just because I think a lot of fireworks are going to happen. Overnight. Those Woj bombs pop up. About 12,
and we may do it. We may jump on. It may be midnight central. We'll jump on. Hopefully I can get some people. If I got to do it by myself, damn it, I'll come on and I'll do some commentary myself. It'll be weird hearing myself talk, but we'll see. But I'm glad you mentioned that, Pete. Yeah, look for us Sunday, July 31st. You may see us on. It may just be me. It may be me and a few others. Byron will be back. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a fun summer, though, I think. But until sometime next week, I can't guarantee you guys dates. Just check for it on Twitter. I'll tweet it out. But until then, everybody enjoy your evening. Everybody have a good weekend, and we'll see y'all next week.